Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Pointy Hatcast. I am your host Sam, also known as Ducky O'Brien on Twitch, and we are joined today by our co-host, our own favorite fans, Barry.
Hello.
And Isaiah is going to be a little late today. Today's episode is on a rather unknown sci-fi movie. Everyone raised a glass of water. Annihilation. Okay, Annihilation was released on February 2018 in the US. It is directed by Alex Garland, who also directed Ex Machina. The script was written by Alex Garland, and it stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson, Gina Rodriguez, and Tuva Novotny as the main protagonists. Currently, as of this podcast, it has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 88% for critics and 66% for audience. This movie is an adaptation of the first novel, Annihilation, in the Southern Reach trilogy, written by Jeff Vandermeer. And here's a brief synopsis of the movie. It's the official one. It's very, very sparse. Okay, so here it is. Based on Jeff Vandermeer's best-selling Southern Reach trilogy, Annihilation stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez, Tessa Thompson, Tuva Novotny, and Oscar Isaac. It was written and directed by Alex Garland, Ex Machina, and 28 Days Later. Now this synopsis tells you absolutely nothing about the movie, so I'll read the synopsis for the novel. Alright, here we go. Annihilation is a 2014 novel by Jeff Vandermeer. It is the first in a series of 3 books called the Southern Reach Trilogy. The book describes a team of 4 women, a biologist, an anthropologist, a psychologist, and a surveyor, who set out into an area known as Area X. The area is abandoned and cut off from the rest of civilization. They are the 12th expedition. The other expeditions have been fraught with disappearances, suicides, aggressive cancers, and mental trauma. The novel won the 2015 Nebula Award for Best Novel and the 2014 Shirley Jackson Award for Best Novel. Alright, we're just gonna go straight into movie thoughts. I think for this I'll go first, because I think you have a lot better things to say, so save the best for last here.
Sure.
Yeah, so I also my take on it is probably gonna be a little off, or might be incorrect, but that's what I got out of it. So for me, I thought the movie was visually striking, but it was boring to be honest. Like, I thought, I don't have a problem with boring sci-fi, but it was a little, to me, it felt a little too pretentious in some aspects, and it broke me out of the movie. Not due to it being bad, it's just I felt like it's pushing some things a little too much over having a solid narrative. And for me, it needs a solid narrative, and then everything has to be on top of that. The narrative has to be the foundation. If it's not the narrative, it has to be the characters. So it has to be one or the other, and I think this movie didn't really have strengths in either category for me. It didn't really have developed characters, or for me at least relatable characters, and the narrative wasn't as strong. But the movie is cohesive, because I could see the vision of the director and what he was trying to do, and I think everything kind of moved along that vision. So for me, I think when I saw this movie, it was, for me, what I got out of it was basically an allegory. I know a lot of people say it's not an allegory. Fine, whatever. It had a lot of symbolism about the destructive nature of humankind, and the entire thing is kind of reflecting that, how crappy we are messing our own selves up. And then at the end, the ending was kind of like, how do you get past that? You become something different. You gotta change, so you're not quite yourself, but you're something different. And then that kind of makes you a little detached from reality. You're like questioning things. You're not sure of anything. That's kind of where it leaves you. So for me, it was like entire movies talking about like how our cells would be immortal, but they're flawed, so that's why we age and die. Kind of like it goes over and over again with like, oh, everyone's in the squad is damaged. they're all damaged goods. We got problems there. Like one girl's like suicidal, not suicidal, but like she likes self-harming to feel alive. You know, one person's an addict. Um, Another person lost someone. Blah blah blah. They're all damaged. They go in there, and then it's just like, all right, everything is terrible. And then at the end though, it's kind of like different phases too. I don't want to go through it, like accepting it, rejecting it, being sidetracked, but not sidetracked, but like struck out of nowhere, just like trying to fight it. All these different approaches to this human problem, and then the ending, I felt like was an ending to that kind of theme and not the actual narrative, because I had some issues with that. So later I'll go into that. But Barry, your takes on the movie, your thoughts. For me, I just want to end with like, I don't think I'll recommend this movie for everyone, but I definitely think it's worth watching. Probably not going to be enjoyable for a lot of people, but it's a good study.
I really like this movie. I thought it was really great. I thought it was thought provoking.
Mhm.
Definitely pretentious. Definitely pretentious. The slow pacing can be really off-putting if you're used to like more action-oriented sci-fi. The characters probably could have used a little bit more development, but were interesting. And I think that like this movie made $0 in theaters. Okay, it got no audience. It deserved certainly much better than it got.
Mhm. I agree
Especially
with
because
that.
this came out, shortly after Ghostbusters,
Ah,
and Ghostbusters arrived with like this trumpeting fanfare of like, feminism and like women in movies and women in STEM and like women in science and engineering, and like if you don't like Ghostbusters, you're a sexist misogynist, and then the movie was just a giant piece of shit.
yeah, yeah,
And then this movie comes out with like no fanfare, and it features a cast of female protagonists that are actual,
yep,
scientists and professionals, and have actual skills that they display on the screen,
yep,
as competent individuals instead of like queef joking like assholes. It's like, oh my god, oh my god. I mean, if you want strong female leads, this movie has them, and Ghostbusters just did not.
yeah, yeah,
And for the flaws of this movie, and it does have many, at least it tried to do something,
yeah. I
as
agree.
opposed to like Ghostbusters, which tried to do nothing
Make
and
money.
succeeded.
Yeah.
And it succeeded.
Oh, we have Isaiah back. We just started, Isaiah.
What's up, boys?
All
Sorry
right.
I'm
What's
late.
up?
No,
What's
it's
up,
okay. It's okay. This is the minimal effort podcast. We don't want to put work into this. I put in a little bit, but it's supposed to be fun. All right, Sir Barry, keep going, and then
Yeah, just I agree with Barry. I think it's a great movie. Sam, I think you're wrong. Okay, continue, Barry.
Oh, what? Oh, we're gonna fight later. We're gonna fight later. All right.
It's definitely got a lot of pretentiousness, but it's like,
Yeah.
it at least tries to show you something. It tries to get you to think
Yeah.
something or feel
Yeah.
something.
Totally agree with that.
And it's definitely a bit boring, but like I appreciate a movie that's willing to be slow and methodical and deliberate, as opposed to a movie like Ghostbusters that's just nothing.
Oh, it's so
Just
sad because I
nothing.
love the
Yeah.
original Ghostbusters.
The original was this unique blend of sci-fi and humor.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a comedy movie with sci-fi elements,
Yeah.
and the new movie is like, it's like a fart joke for like that's extended 90 minutes long. And you're like, oh man.
Okay.
And I don't know, like sci-fi is just not doing well these days, guys. Like there are all these wonderful like high concept movies coming out that get no audience, they make no money, but they're well made.
What about Men in Black International, bro?
The best sci-fi movie.
I mean, I'm sure it's a fine movie, but it's not like there's nothing thought provoking at all about that movie.
Oh yikes! 22% Rotten Tomatoes.
Really? Oh, let's watch
I'm
it.
sure it's like an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
It might not even be that bad, but
Yeah.
like
They've already made 187 million
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
with a budget of 110 mil.
that international audience, man.
Yeah.
It makes those Chinese bucks are rolling in,
They're cashing in.
Yeah.
cashing in. Yeah, I don't know. I think there needs to be space in the market for movies like this. That it's not for everyone. Absolutely, it's not for everyone. But there need to be movies that try to make you think something.
Totally.
Try to make you meditate on themes and symbolism and like narrative structure. It's just and every movie that tries to do anything novel like that just fails. It's so sad. It makes me
Yeah.
really depressed for like cinema audiences in general.
I mean, it's just like the sci-fi dystopia. People don't want to think or feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
I certainly get that. People want to say it's boring. Like I don't understand the movie, or like I don't want to be miserable for 90 minutes. Perfectly valid points, but these movies need to be given a chance, and it certainly deserved a much more. It deserved more than Ghostbusters got.
Yeah. I think there
Yeah,
is an
absolutely.
audience. I just feel like the marketing has to be better because
Oh god, the marketing was so
marketing
bad for this.
sucked for this movie. Like
It was awful.
it's awful. Like I read the quote and it literally this is the official synopsis. Based on Jeff Vandermeer's novel Southern Reach trilogy, stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, whatever. It was written and directed by Alex Gardner. That's it. There's nothing about the story in there. Like they
That's
didn't
the
believe
point.
in I know what's the point. So we got someone dropping in. What's up, Cam? Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, Isaiah, what's your take on the movie? It's wrong, by the way. The movie's bad. I'm kidding. Movie's well made. I can agree with that. But yeah.
No, I agree with a lot of Barry's sentiments. Like I thought that this was an incredible film. I thought that the characters are a bit flat.
Yeah. Because it's not the point of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love how they kind of use the workaround of like, oh, they're not military, they're scientists, which is why none of them know how to like shoot a gun, how to travel in formation, how to not run off in this mystery land to just die.
Hey, Natalie Portman has training. She's a badass.
She is.
Yeah, she's the badass though. She's a badass. But I thought that was so funny because all of them actually have like some level of like action movie background. So all of them do have some level of like martial arts and gun training.
Yeah.
But they obviously didn't want to go through the effort, so they're like, we're gonna make you all noobs except for Natalie Portman. But it works so well.
It works.
It works.
Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed the film, and I love how it's just like a slow build. And yeah, not a lot of movies like that get a lot of success or critical acclaim.
Yeah.
Until like after the fact. Like Space Odyssey, like 2001, right?
Yeah.
That is probably the slowest movie in existence.
There's this fly bothering me. Shoe fly, don't bother me. Also, Cam,
like,
he thinks Annihilation was really good. It's
yeah.
great.
The director was like, I want this slow shot of a hallway, but I want it 10 times longer than it needs to be. So we're going to make this a 5-minute long shot.
It's like Blade Runner 2049.
Just like
it's like we're gonna take our time, boys.
Yeah. So okay, let's go into this. For me, I guess a lot of people thought the ending was trippy and not what you were expecting. That's part of my problem. So for me, my biggest issue was that the narrative and the characters are not the main focus. It's more like the thematic elements that they have. You can call it symbolism, allegory, whatever. That was the most important thing. And for me, that breaks the movie. I feel like, so I'm not faulting it, because I totally agree with both of y'all, because it makes you think. Because the thematic elements are important, or at least it's something to consider. You know, everyone questions the nature of what it means to be human, right? Or just alive. And then so it's important to think about it. Just think about anything, you know, just think about anything in this day and age where we're like inundated with social media. Like, you got vapes. So I'm predicting, for me, the future is going to be vaping hard narcotics. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, vapes right now are nothing. Bro. Yeah, vape nation, but it's going to be like, hated, bro? I'm not hating. I'm just saying that in the future, I just imagine everyone being, you know, like, not wanting to think about anything, feel about anything. That's happening now, and that's what, like, sci-fi is predicting. And this is, you know, I think this movie kind of shows that, because no one wants to watch that. So, like, I totally agree. I like it. I think it was well made, like, visually stunning. It's very cohesive. I thought the movie, again, the narrative and characters went to focus, but, like, because of that, you can see the vision clearly, and I think it makes it pretty obvious if you're used to watching sci-fi. I think the point it's trying to make, or the thematic elements that it puts out there, you might not get all of them. I didn't get all of them, but I got something out of it. And it's very cohesive. It's from start to finish. It's just that it breaks the character development and the narrative development in the process at some points. And for other people, it might not be important. For me, though, it kind of broke it. So, like, I'll get into it a little bit. So I'll get into it, and then you guys give me your take on it. So what you got out of it, the movie, or like what it made you think about? Because I think that's the most important part here, and then we can go into the little nitty gritty chronological sequence of the movie later, because it's actually not that many compared to other movies. I didn't notice it had long scenes, and it was I think edited quite well. But yeah. For me, so what I got out of it was that it was all a movie about, again, it could be wrong. I don't care. This is what I got out of it, so you can't tell me that what I think is wrong. It can be. Actually, you can, all right? But this is what I got of it. This is what I was thinking about. So for me, I thought it was talking about how humans just mess up their own lives, the self-destructive nature of humanity. You know, it hits you over the head sometimes. Not over the head, but like kind of like pushes it in your face a little bit. Not that much, but yeah. Yeah, like it's like, oh, cells, you know, we would be immortal, but then there's a flaw, so the cells die. You know, like, you know, cells are programmed to kill themselves, and then, you know, like the squad, they have problems. With the Anya, the paramedic's an addict. Lena lost her husband, or she cheated on her husband. So like, the scene where she was talking to the psychologist, and she's like, why didn't my husband go on this knowing that it was a suicide mission? And she's like, it wasn't suicide, it was self-destruction. We have a tendency towards that, kind of like ruining your own marriage, right? And then you see her flashback, like ruining a happy marriage. Ruining it's like she had an affair that wasn't in the book, I believe, but I think that scene really pointed out that, wow, it looks like she was sleeping with her husband, but then they scroll over, and it's her colleague while her husband was alive and on an expedition, and this has been going on for a little bit, and like, she ruined her own marriage. She didn't need to, and that man was married, and the man himself was cheating on his own wife, and he's like, oh, I love my wife, don't bring her into this. I was like, what do you mean, bro? You're cheating on your wife. Like, yeah, so like, it's like, you don't hate me, you hate yourself. And then she's like, no, I hate you too. And myself. Yeah, that was great. It was so like to the point. I was like, that's too real. And like, I got it. Like, all right, like, people they mess their own lives up, and it's like, how do you get over this? So like, the Cassie lady, she lost her daughter and herself. She just gets sidetracked I'm not sidetracked. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a car just hits you out of nowhere, like an Edge of Tomorrow. Just like bam, like a bear comes out, grabs T-bone. You get T-bone, like you get T-bone by life's problems, by your own faults. Josie, the physicist, she accepts it, so she's like, all right, I'm not gonna fight it, I'm not gonna run away from it. She just embraces it, and she turns into a plant person. Like, all right, I get all the symbolism, right? And then at the end, you get two examples. Like you get the psychologist lady, Ventress, yes. She wants to know answers before she dies, and then she just turns into a golden light beacon, and then the thing comes out, and then Natalie Portman gets her doppelganger, and then she's fighting herself, and like it's literally what it is. Like she's fighting her own self, and then later, it just shows that because she's so self-destructive, it kind of copies that over to the doppelganger, and a doppelganger just like, just let me kill everything here, and it destroys everything. Just hands her a grenade, she goes on fire, lights the whole lighthouse on fire, which brings the question of why didn't the lighthouse burn when the guy pulled the grenade out himself? Because those things were like around him, you know, like, that's what I'm talking about, the breaks in narrative, like. But that's not important. But like, yeah, still, it bugged me a little bit. If all it took was one grenade and just setting everything on fire, I think 12 expeditions in, like someone would have tried burning everything.
3 years. With the U.S. military, they probably would have nuked it.
Yeah, just like nuke it, like
like not a year, like maybe 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months in, just like
nuke it from orbit.
Nuke it from orbit. Yeah. So like, again, that's not the problem. But I the end scene I thought was awesome because it was choreographed by a dancer, and you can kind of see that it felt dance-like.
It's incredible. It's
incredible, and like she's fighting herself, she's screwing herself over, and like. The scene where her doppelganger is pressing her against the door, like just the weight of herself defeating her, and then at the end, kind of like she embraces it herself, and then that kind of leads her out, and it changes her though. Like if the shimmer is all this trauma, or like all these thematic elements of like self-destruction, or like us as humans messing our own lives up, and you go in there and you come out changed, right? But that's the only way you can survive though. You don't come out the same. If you try to do that, you die. I mean, you won't come out at all anyways. But like, I thought that kind of, for me, that's what I got out of it, because that's the most cohesive theme that I could see from start to end. I thought it was well developed. It's like, symbolism is there, the dialogue is there, there's a little bit of foreshadowing there, and it's kind of like not a happy ending, but it's a little bit of both. For me, it was a little bittersweet, and you're left not knowing.
The ending was happy.
Yeah, happy-ish. You know, like for me, it was like you're left not knowing what's gonna happen next, and I think that's kind of realistic. That's like life, you know, like you get over this hump.
Life.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I got over something, but I don't know what's next, you know, kind of thing. All right, sorry, I rambled on. I didn't put that as well as I could. I should have thought about it more.
No, I think that was very eloquently said.
Thank you. Yeah. And then I'll hand it off. Isaiah, you want to go, and then we'll leave it with Barry, because I feel like he has the most
to say.
Yeah, the most to say, or like the best things to say. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I followed that same, I guess, like plot line as well, where it's like, oh, we're human, we have self-destructive tendencies. But I thought it was so interesting how they're playing also into the idea of like, they keep asking her, what did they want? It's like, what did they want? Like, why were they trying to kill people? Like, why were they trying to, like, when they're talking about the fight at the end, it's like, did they attack you? And she's like, yes, but only because I attacked, like, herself. And I thought that was really interesting, because it's showing, like, here's this being that comes to Earth, doesn't necessarily want or have desires, right? And
it's
they're
just
constantly
there.
talking about that too. It's just there. So what do you do? And I thought that was just such an interesting plot line. Because they're not necessarily evil, right? I didn't perceive like...
Yeah, there's no malice.
Yeah, there's no malice in what they do. It's just like, they're just there. And sure, they're slowly taking over the earth, but like, they're just changing it. They're not destroying it. So I don't know. I got also, when I was watching this movie, I was like, there's so many parallels between this movie and Arrival.
And now
I
it's
was like, scientist lady goes to talk to aliens.
Yeah.
I was watching this and I was just thinking, wow, this is... I can't imagine this movie did worse than Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
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 It's like, fuck cinema.
Yeah, like...
Fuck
exactly.
this earth.
Also, by the way, got some fact injections here. Hard vaping hard drugs is already available. You just dissolve it in glycerin. So someone from chat said his buddy uses it for ecstasy. I was like, oh, okay, it sounds like a bad idea.
Future is now, man.
Future is now.
Yeah.
Carry on though.
But I thought it was so
times,
funny.
old man.
You're right. I'm seeing everyone doing it. Just imagine going out and see a cloud.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, over the city. But yeah, that's a good point. There's no
I thought
enemy.
it was... Yeah, there's no enemy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so interesting because our first logical reaction as humans is like, we gotta destroy it.
Yeah, that was my reaction.
It's like the same thing in Arrival, right? It's like, we don't know how to talk to the aliens.
Just destroy it.
We'll just blow them up out of the sky.
Blow 'em up.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to like human nature. It's like our natural instinct is, if we can't understand something, we destroy it. And if you look at that, I think that is very... It's a mirror into who we are as people and social constructs, right?
Sure.
Like, no, it's like the whole idea of people in big cities will tend to be more liberal-minded because they'll be surrounded by more people and different people. So they're forced to come into contact with a lot of different varied ideals and different opinions and live in harmony, while people in the country are like more conservative because you're surrounded by people who are very like-minded. Wait, this is gonna get whole political, but like, pretty much it's talking about human nature, how if we don't understand something, our first instinct is to fight it and destroy it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Even if they might necessarily not be evil or do us any harm, because we can't understand, we perceive it as a threat.
Totally.
And that's like everyone, right? Like we see what's a good example? Like America coming, like the British coming to America, right? It's like, we don't understand these Indian people. We'll just take their land.
We'll just take their land and give them some nice blankets filled with smallpox.
Yeah.
Yes.
The funny thing is, like, I was thinking about that. Like, we're focusing on, obviously, just like a tangent here. We're, focus on America because we're Americans and we're like, our history is founded on wiping out another race. But I was like thinking of every civilization. I can't think of one that coexisted peacefully, because if they did, they got wiped out. Like,
yeah, pretty
like,
much.
it's true. Our nature as humans, we are made for destruction.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
and
even if you're peaceable, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting because I was like, whoa, this is all about who we are as people. And as humans, I was like, whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah, like, if somehow you are above that, you have this state of mind or understanding where you're like, I can be at peace with everyone, well, you're gonna get stomped out of existence. So you better get with the program, buddy. There's no choice but to fight back sometimes, right? So I was like, all right, I saw this. Like, yeah.
The Iron Man way of thinking, like his dad said.
Yeah.
It's like
build more suits, more newts. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's a cutthroat world out there in any field, even Twitch, podcasting, anything, movie making.
Yeah. But I kind of wish that they delved more into that idea and playing more into like because the self-destructive thing about human behavior I thought was really interesting. But I was like, if we went even bigger and we talked about like humans and our destructive tendencies towards other people, I think that would have been really interesting. Yeah. But I thought another thing that was funny, besides like thematic elements, was I was doing some research, and apparently there's 2 directors who worked on this film, right?
Oh, really? I did not know that. It was just
So
Alex Garland.
One of them, he was the director for Ex Machina and some other like really interesting sci-fi films, and the other guy was Terminator Genesis.
Oh, okay. He's not credited.
The Terminator Genesis director was like, yo, bro, this movie is too smart. People are not going to understand.
Yep.
We need to make this movie dumber so we can make more money.
Yeah, the business people said that too. Yeah.
And the Ex Machina guy was like, I will not taint this work by pandering to like unintelligent audience makers or audience members.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to make a movie for stupid people.
Exactly. No, that's literally the argument. And the Ex Machina guy, his cut ended up becoming the final cut. They made 2 cuts of the film. So somewhere out there's a Terminator Genesis cut.
Dude, I want to watch that. I feel like it's not going to make the movie better because like the problems that I have isn't that it's too smart. It's just that it focused too much on the thematic elements instead of the character and the narrative. And no matter what cut you make, you can't add in character development unless they have a bunch of scenes that were edited out for some reason. The way that is shot, I think this final cut, is the best. But yeah, like I want to see how bad it would be. What if it's like Suicide Squad #2, like Annihilation?
We must find the second film.
We must find it. We need to find someone who has that cut. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
New plan, boys. I'm gonna work in Hollywood for 10 years and finally get access to this film.
Hey, you gotta find access to Pointy Hat Man. You gotta find out who he is.
Yes.
The man, the myth.
Yes, the legend.
But I thought that was so funny. And this movie, so apparently it only played in theaters in Canada and the US for like a month.
Okay.
And then they pulled it from theaters and they sold it to Netflix for the streaming rights, which is why it's like on international Netflix.
Apparently
they sold it to Netflix for like $50 million to help subsidize the costs of the budget itself. Because they spent a lot of money on this movie. And it looks incredible.
Great. It looks incredible.
The visuals are stunning. But I can tell also that this movie was specifically made for like the big screen. Because like this movie would have been incredible to watch in theaters. Like even the sound design is so incredibly well done.
Yeah,
I saw this movie in theaters. It was wonderful.
I'm so jealous.
Like that final scene with the alien is so stunning on the big screen.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. But
and like it had this incredible like that deep bass you only really get with the obnoxiously large theater speakers that like
rattle your skull.
Yeah, like you feel it in your chest. It was just like, oh man, it was so intense. It was great.
Yeah, so I don't doubt they made back their money, but
I don't think another movie like this is gonna come out for a minute.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is like this Blade Runner 2049. Like,
yes.
Pandorum, like they just went straight into like the sci-fi movie graveyard. Just make no money.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because every one of these that flops just decreases the odds of another one getting made. And it's just so depressing. It's so depressing. And instead we're just gonna get like another Suicide Squad, or we're getting another Ghostbusters.
Oh whoa, hold on a second. The second Suicide Squad might be good though. We gotta watch that on release. James Gunn.
Yeah, it might be good.
Might be good.
But like that movie was a giant turd, and it's getting another one, you know.
Yeah.
And then this movie was very good, and it's done.
It's done.
It's gone forever. It's gone forever.
It's truly tragic.
Absolutely
I don't
tragic.
think they needed a sequel, but another type of movie like this would have been great because I felt like it was. It had a start and an end, and I like the way that it ended, and I don't want it to be another movie. I think it's complete as is.
Another thing too is like, if they were Ghostbusters were all hyped up. It's like, oh, this is big feminism. This is us being feminists, right? But I feel like this movie is a way better representation of feminism than Ghostbusters ever was.
Totally, Barry mentioned it earlier. Absolutely,
like,
Yeah, I spoke about it. Like in Ghostbusters, they're supposed to be like scientists and engineers, and they're just obnoxious pricks instead. no apparent competence. And like in this movie, like you have a psychologist, a biologist,
physicist,
who's a vetted professor, like
a John Hopkins.
Also, you know,
like the least incredible is a
paramedic.
Paramedic,
like, from Chicago.
That's still, you know,
that's the least impressive.
That's the least impressive.
But she's she's the thickest. She picked up a machine gun. You know, I thought she was gonna use it. There's gonna be a scene where she's like, you know, like in Predator, you know, just firing that thing, or like, you know, typical action movie. But she's like, oh, it's too heavy, and then she puts it down.
I like that though. It's very practical.
Yeah, it's pretty practical.
No one's gonna want to carry a 30-pound gun. It's like, it's too heavy.
It's too heavy. I don't have the ammo for this. It'll run out in like 1 second.
It's so funny.
But
I think that this movie was so much better in terms of representation, showing like very competent, diverse group of women who are very capable.
Totally, it was believable too. Other than the fact that they sent in a squad of scientists after 11 squads of soldiers failed. You know,
I think that's perfectly believable.
I don't think so. Not for me.
After 11 military squad, like clearly there was something wrong with their
like
approach.
What I'm saying is you always send the scientist guy in with the military people. That's procedure. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta protect the nerd because he can't fight for himself. So like, where are the scientists? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Natalie Portman's there. She's
after 12 expeditions, it took them 11 expeditions to send in a freaking scientist. Come on. Well,
I think what was also really interesting was that they weren't the first people to reach the lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you see all the skulls and like all the bones outside, they were not the first people of the 12 expeditions to reach the lighthouse.
Yeah.
But she and her husband were the only ones to get out. It's like,
well, her doppelganger husband, the real one, committed suicide. Seppuku by grenade. Sudoku. He committed Sudoku. He got all the numbers filled in. But yeah, like for me, like the reason why, Sudoku side. The reason why, like, you know, again, like the thematic elements are so strong and cohesive that you can overlook these narrative issues. But for me, kind of broke it because, you know, if I'm thinking, I see a weird bubble-like barrier in the books. I heard it's invisible. You can't see it, so that makes more sense because you don't know when you walk into it or past it. But
that's
like,
so much scarier.
It's much scarier too. But like, if you see it and you're like, all right, let's figure out what this is. My first response would be, okay, send in a military force, definitely, because it could be an invasion. But you also send in scientists, and like, if they don't come back out, you're like, all right. And they give you two like theories that are running. It's like either they got killed off by something or they killed themselves because they went crazy. And I mentioned this to Barry.
Time to nuke it.
Yeah, time to nuke it. No, like, you know, like keep bringing soldiers, scientists together. You know, hazmat suits, better protection. And Barry mentioned like that they tried hazmat suits and it didn't work, so they stopped trying. And I think, you know, that little touch in the movie would have been great. But again, that wasn't the main point of the movie. So like, I know I'm nitpicking here because for me,
don't they kind of imply that they've tried like a lot of different stuff in the movie?
Not really. Here's why I brought up the hazmat suit, because when they're in the base, everyone's in hazmat suits.
Yeah,
right.
Everyone was
except for her. Like, there's a person sleeping in a hazmat suit, guarding her husband, just making sure he's okay, and then she just walks in without a hazmat suit. I was like, what in the world, dude? Like,
well, it's because she's already infected.
No, they don't know that.
Well, because
before she went
basically hugged him.
Yeah, I know.
You know, whatever.
She kissed him. You're right. So
she got mono.
Like airborne and bacterial.
Yeah, like, why are you letting her outside then? Put her in like quarantine. You know, like, Although also they did try sending in drones. Radio signals don't get through the barrier.
Nothing in,
Yeah,
nothing out.
That's
in,
why
nothing
like
out.
air wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why sea wouldn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. But just like, you know,
Plot convenience.
plot convenience. Like
Yeah,
you could bring in a
so
physical
plot
cable
convenience.
too. Like, you know, in that type of scenario, you just bring in a physical line through the barrier, because nothing says the barrier like physically cuts it off. All right, instead of radio signals.
Or I saw complaints where people are like, why didn't they just walk in from the coast and then walk out from the coast?
That too. That's a good point.
You know, like that's so much more simple.
Yeah, but again,
all you gotta do is walk forward, reach the lighthouse, turn around, walk back. Or even if you keep walking straight, you'll eventually walk out.
Yeah, and apparently you can't walk out of the. It's called Area X in the novels. Apparently you can't walk out once you get in. There's no exits.
Yeah, there's only one entrance and there's no exits.
But they don't really establish that in the movie.
But they don't establish
because it's not important.
And they don't establish how.
Yeah. How the husband got out?
Yeah.
He,
I think their method of explaining it is I don't know if you remember when they first walk into the Shimmer. Like as soon as they walk in, they like lose track of like 2 days.
Yeah.
Or the first 3 days. Yeah. They don't remember.
Yeah.
That's why they can't find their way out.
The books handle that differently, but it kind of helps. It helps sell the movie a little bit.
It does.
That like you like space and time don't work exactly the same way inside.
Yeah.
So even if you think you walked in from a certain direction in a certain location at a certain time, that's not necessarily where you are inside the space.
So I want
to. Yeah. Oh, sorry. They do that too because they're like, "Oh, how long do you think you were in there?" And she's like, "Days, maybe weeks." It's like, "No, you were in there for 4 months."
Yeah. I was asking Barry too, just like, you know, I don't really care about these facts, but just like I wonder what she ate, you know, while she was in there for 4 months. Yeah. And apparently there's food there. It's more established. I was just thinking of her like chopping the bear creature and just like grilling it, and she's like, "Oh, bear steak again for 4 months in a row. I'm sick of this." And then that's why she left. You know, I'm out of here. I want that nice.
She got so sick and tired.
Yeah, filet mignon from the Matrix guy who backstabbed everyone for steak.
Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher.
Cypher steak.
Yeah, Cypher steak, dude. But yeah, exactly. So like these breaks in logic, again, I understand because it's not the most important thing, but when the movie establishes something or implies something and it doesn't do it, that's where it kind of breaks it for me. So like that hazmat suit thing bothered me a little bit because everyone else is in hazmat suits. I was just like, why isn't she in one? You know, like yeah.
Oh, and another thing, I was like reading up what people thought about on Reddit, and they're like, her and her husband can now actually have like a full and complete relationship because she's been changed by the Shimmer, and like her doppelganger, like replacement husband, is not the same person who went in. So now they can like finally start over and actually have a new life.
Totally.
So I was like, oh, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting too because it won't be as intimate as the one they had before, but it'll be a relationship, I feel like, because they're both like kind of like not there, you know, a little bit.
Well, yeah, and the new doppelganger has the memories of the past husband.
Yeah, or like most of memories is implied.
Yeah,
not quite everything there, but yeah.
Yeah.
He just turns into his character from Star Wars. It's like, wait a second, that's the wrong movie, buddy. Poe came back. Yeah, Poe came back instead of to the husband.
Send all the bombers.
Yeah, send all the bombers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's their relationship is interesting because it follows the theme that you guys so eloquently laid out. It's that you know, like after all the self-destruction and you know annihilation of who you are and who you were, you can still come back as something new, like as a new person.
Yeah,
which I thought was kind of a nice way to end it.
It's like a nice uplifting ending, kind of.
Kind of.
A little bit.
A little bit. You don't know what the new thing is, but
they leave a lot of questions unanswered and a lot of potential outcomes, but it's not necessarily negative. Because like you said, Sam, it's like
Mhm.
tis life, no?
Mm.
You don't really
Tis
know the
life, yeah.
future.
Yeah, that's life, destruction, creation, and like there's also that running theme of like cancer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of mirrors
Yeah.
how the shimmer acts, and that cancer is not evil necessarily. It's terrible, but it's not evil. It's just this thing that happens and is completely destructive.
It destroys your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they went more in depth into what's her name? The the psychologist lady.
Ventress? Her name?
Ventress, yeah.
Yes.
Like how she had cancer and that was her reason for going in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been really interesting to draw parallels between like their journey through and also her in terms of like coming to terms with her own cancer. I think that could have been very interesting, like plot point to follow. Yeah.
Okay, just quickly, I had a comment on if she's going into the shimmer, wouldn't it be irrelevant for her to have a hazmat suit in the quarantine? I just meant like before she went into the shimmer, she didn't have a hazmat suit. And from the movie.
Hello?
Hello? He's gone.
Oh, I muted my own mic. I was just saying that before. Yeah. My pop filter hit the mute button. That's the first time it happened. But
the
yeah,
audio sounds better though.
Oh yeah, it's my new mic.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just like, wear a hazmat suit when interacting with her husband, or put her in quarantine because she came in contact with the husband, but she's just out in the open. So it's just like, why is everyone in hazmat suits to begin with then? But this is just a small nitpick.
Yeah.
And also apparently there's a movie called Life, and it's a great movie, but the ending was terrible. I have not seen it. But yeah, sorry, we went on for too long. Barry, what was your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah.
Gonna get into that.
I think you guys very, very eloquently summed up like the thematic thrust in the movie.
Just a few. I feel like there's more because the movie goes kind of deep, but yeah.
There's a lot, yeah.
Well, there's a lot there. Like there's like themes of like the nature of consciousness and existence.
Oh yeah.
Oscar Isaac is essentially just created from nothing. Is he still a person? Is he still human? Does he still have, agency and consciousness, or is he just like some construct? Is
the video at the end is so good.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I'm not even a man. Was I you? Were you me?
Or you am I?
If I'm not Cain, what am I?
Yeah. And like with his name, obviously there's some religious allegory there as well. Cain,
Cain and Abel.
I missed that. I was just thinking of the wrestler Cain.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why. Just my mind went there. Yeah.
There's some themes of nature and our place in it, and its place with our civilization. Because as you guys said, the shimmer is not fundamentally destroying anything except our understanding of how we exist. It's just changing everything. Like there's that beautiful little scene with like the two deer with like the flower antlers. They're just kind of there, and like it's beautiful and it's lovely, and it says that like those are clearly something brand new.
Yeah.
And like the deer as they existed before are no longer there, but they still exist, and they're still like beautiful, and like all the natural elements in the movie are like completely shifted, like the fungus and the lichens and the flowers and everything, but they're still fundamentally there, and they're visually beautiful. Which kind of tells us that even though we've like the humans in the movie view like this alien force is like destructive and dangerous, that what it's doing is not necessarily either of those things. It's just destroying like our idea of what it means to be,
That reminds me.
Mhm.
Just gonna interject real quick of the Twilight Zone episode where there's like a solar flare coming, and there's like a mysterious radio signal that's like making people sick, and only teens though. And what happens is this radio signal is like changing their DNA so that they change into like these kind of mutant like creatures
Oh yeah,
that can withstand
that's
the
Outer Limits.
radiation. Yeah. Yeah, just
I remember that.
you remember that? Yeah, I
What?
just thought of that episode because kind of like, oh, it's like harming us, but it's just changing you. But in that case,
is
it
this
was
a reference
beneficial.
I'm too young to understand?
It is. It actually is.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Outer Limits.
Outer Limits.
There's
Outer
this,
Limits. Sorry, Outer Limits.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there was
Yeah.
a broadcast signal
Mhm.
from another solar system, very very far away.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
like they like SETI or whatever found it, and they were analyzing the signal. But as younger people listen to it, it was like an addictive thing,
Mhm.
and they got like some pleasure from it. And then it like kind of spread virally. People got the recording, and it got like spread around through the internet, radio, whatever. And people realized that it was slowly starting to like mutate them, like it was changing their skin, causing them like to change, and like some of them were
Ooh.
falling into like comas, and then like it seemed harmful. And then the climax of the episode is that they realized that the solar system that the signal came from had the star go. I don't know if it was supernova, but it was like
Probably
it shifted
supernova.
so that
Yeah.
it output like a significant amount of like solar radiation or like ultraviolet or something, enough so that it would, if the same thing happened to like humanity, like they would just die, like we'd be fried.
Mhm.
And then it turned out the signal was mutating people so that they could survive this new level of irradiation.
Yeah.
Oh.
But old people were
Uh,
too old to be affected.
well, no, they could be affected.
Oh, they couldn't
It just took longer.
Oh, okay. I just remember the episode where like old people are inside the house with the blinds drawn. They're like basically can't go outside ever again.
They chose to not change.
Oh, okay.
They chose to just
okay.
remain human, so that like I don't know. The justification was interesting, but it was like a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
And some people just chose to not change.
I thought
and
they
then like
couldn't.
at the end, yeah, the sun shifts to like in the new whatever pattern, and like the radiation starts like blasting down, but like all the mutated people are outside and they're fine.
They're bald, right? Am I remembering this wrong? They're like bald.
Yeah,
right?
they're like bald yellow, splotchy yellow people. I think. Yeah.
Just like a bunch of mini Saitamas running around in the sun. It's awesome because I remember, I think the end scene is like the sunlight is shining down, and if you go out, you'll die. So it's just a bunch of bald people just like playing out in the open.
Yeah, it's like all this joyful imagery, and it's just like these goofy, bald, yellow people outside. That was weird.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to digest in this movie, and it's one of what I really like about it is that you like if you go looking for it, you can find a lot of ideas, and different people can pull different things from it.
Totally.
And I think that makes it a really good movie, and it's just unfortunate that people didn't want to think about things. So
yeah, I think A, that's a huge problem. Also B, there are people who want to think that don't know this movie exists because of the terrible marketing. Like if I watched the trailer and I was like, don't want to watch this movie. Like the trailer
was so bad.
It's really bad. It kind of reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow's trailer, which was also really bad. Like the music choice, everything.
I honestly saw the trailer and I was like, this movie, I was like, it actually looks really good. But it's like, I don't think anyone is going to watch this.
Well, the trailer marketed it as like sci-fi horror, you know? And there are horror elements. There's like some body horror and like some spooky stuff.
The bear,
the knife scene.
Oh my god, that was like, it's just like they just went like, on too. It's just like you thought it would stop, but it's like nope, we're cutting his entire stomach open.
Nope, we're gonna keep going.
Just keep going. I was like, oh man.
Oh, Kane just shoves his hand in and he's grabbing his intestines. I was like,
like I'm impressed you guys watch this and you don't want to watch Pandora because I think
The
this movie
Pandora's
is
creepier. This movie was not scary at all.
nah,
This movie's not that creepy.
Yeah, it's not creepy.
really
Pandora
Besides,
is
like, maybe
creepy.
that scene and the bear scene.
No, like that scene. I was just wincing because I was like, oh, that looks like it hurts. But like Pandorum is freaky. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I don't want to be in this situation.
I'm not. Gore is not that bad.
Yeah, gore for me is
I
not
love
that bad.
Tarantino.
Tarantino, yeah.
yeah. If you're okay with gore, I bet you're fine with Pandora.
I don't
It's
know,
not-
dude. I watched a little bit of it. I remember. I was just like, this movie is scaring me. There's like a creepy monster somewhere. I don't know where it is. You can't make sound. Those will kill you. See, that's more freaky. I don't know what it looks like. If it's just a bear, you can just shoot it, right? I mean, that kind of bear
But you
would
can
probably
shoot
kill me.
creepy
But like,
monsters too.
no, that's why it's a monster. You can't shoot it sometimes. Maybe it's bulletproof. I don't know. Superman. That's the unknown is way more scarier than the known. For me.
Yeah.
Right? Things you can't shoot. You don't know if you can shoot it or not. That's freaky for me. What are you gonna how do you fight that? What if it's a ghost?
I mean,
How do you shoot a
You can't
ghost?
shoot the shimmer. You can't shoot the shimmer. You know.
Well, the shimmer is okay, just like pop it with a giant needle, right? It's a bubble. I'm thinking. Just blow it away with wind. Have they tried that? Giant fans everywhere. It's like, guys, let's pop this bubble. Or to make a parody. I imagine that being the dumbed down version. It's like they bring a giant needle. They're like, this won't work, and a giant fan. It's like, this isn't working. What do we do next? Giant magnifying glass. It's like, nothing is working, guys.
Movie like the
Spaceballs.
Genesis version is probably just them bringing in like
Nukes.
the whole army and they're just
Yeah.
like bombarding the shimmer and it just blows up. That's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie, and then
That's the end of the
The
movie.
Terminator comes out of the
yeah.
ground.
he rises. He's the main enemy.
I like that. I kind of appreciate that this movie is not necessarily pro-military.
Yeah,
like a lot of
yeah.
like a lot of sci-fi action movies tend to be like rah rah go army.
I mean, Arrival was the same way too. It was
Yeah.
like we win by not fighting.
Yeah, we win by not fighting. Then like the dumb soldier guys are like, let's fucking blow them up. That's a great idea.
Generic
Chinese
soldier,
military is
Rick
like, let's
Flag.
shoot it.
Yeah, let's shoot
Yeah.
shoot everything.
Just shoot the crap out of it.
Uh,
Pick up the pieces later.
Yeah.
From this alien civilization that can travel faster than the speed of light and manipulate gravity. It'll work so well. Just shoot them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
what do you guys think of Arrival?
I didn't
loved
watch it.
Arrival. I thought it was great.
I personally loved Arrival too. But all of my friends who watched it, they're like, this is the most garbage movie I've ever seen. I was like, why are you guys so stupid?
They're part of the problem.
Why are you dumb?
Why you dumb?
Why you have to be dumb?
Why you
Oh,
have to be
wait,
like
what did they
this?
think of Suicide Squad? That's the test.
They were just like, a lot of people who saw Suicide Squad was like, it was just an okay movie. They weren't like,
No, it's not
I was like-
okay. That is,
They
you
didn't-
can't be friends
they
with
didn't think
them.
it was like really bad. They just thought it was okay.
What the hell do you
Yeah.
think that movie is okay? You have no brain.
What makes a not okay movie then? If that's an okay movie.
I honestly have no idea. No, a
Clearly.
not okay movie would then be Arrival.
Yeah, Arrival. Arrival's not okay, but Suicide is okay. Are you kidding me right now? Like, oh my god, it just hurts me hearing that Suicide Squad is okay. How are you not broken out of the movie going experience with the movie contradicting itself over and over again and no coherent flow to anything, any element of that movie or thematic element? It's just all over the place.
Because Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, she is pretty cute. But I didn't like
I
her
mean-
acting in Suicide Squad because the writing was just too poor. It kind of wasted the potential of the character.
I'm not gonna blame any of the actors in
Yeah,
that
I'm
movie
not.
for their
The actors did
performances.
pretty well.
It's like,
Yeah,
I think the actors did well for what they were given.
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
here's a giant turd. Let's do it the best we can.
It kind of goes
Oh,
to show how important the script is and like
Wait,
directing. Yeah.
should we watch After Earth?
No.
After is that the Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
Will Smith,
Jaden Smith.
Wait.
Honestly, I think that movie is still better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean,
1.5
clearly.
Suicide Squads.
Oh, you're
1.5,
pushing
jeez.
it there. I was gonna go like 1.1.
1.5.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. This movie is just well constructed.
it is.
Like the design of everything is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I love the look of like the plant life. I love like the super
Mhm.
creepy like crocodile and bear.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
I loved the lighthouse scene, like
Me too.
in the bottom of it, like the almost like was it H.R. Geiger? Is that was that the designer of the original Alien?
Oh yeah, there are parallels to Alien and other
Like with that
sci-fi. Yeah,
almost like organic,
Mhm.
like kind of oozy thing going on.
like disgusting
Yeah,
looking,
yeah.
like Zerg in StarCraft. You know, it's like, oh, this
It's
is
like
gross.
it's like you're inside of something's digestive system.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then that alien is so crazy and cool. Like the recursive like particle alien thing. Oh, it
yeah.
was just crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Like just these movies need to keep being made. You know,
They
like
do.
it's flawed certainly, but it's just so thought provoking and like people need to think. You know, people need to think.
Dude, you
Yeah.
know what the solution is? We just have to get super rich and make our own movies.
And make our own film
Yeah,
company.
with no just non for profit. You know, because you're not gonna make a profit.
You're not gonna make any money.
Yeah,
Apparently, you'll make zero. You'll make like negative $50 million or whatever
yeah,
it was
Yeah, yeah. You're operating at a loss.
yeah. We'll do it.
at
We
a
just have to get
constant
super
loss.
rich, and we'll cast people that are good actors, just not well known because we can't afford anyone. So
Yeah.
go to
All of our
Craigslist.
budget will go towards getting a really good director.
Taika, we hire Taika. Like they're doing
Well,
every
go
movie.
do like the Marvel route, where like you find like these small
Up and
directors
coming
that
small name directors.
yeah that like know have good cinematic chops, but like will work for not very much money.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the key.
That's the key.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot more that can be said about the movie, but as
Mhm.
a piece of film, I think that well we've covered most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is stuff that was important for this movie. We kind of skipped over the nitty-gritty details, the narrative, and the character development because
Mhm.
those things really don't matter in this movie. It's more about the thematic elements in the movie. It flows so
Yeah.
cohesively that you can't really fault it. Like it's well constructed.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can argue against that. Like you can say the character development's a little flat or weak, or the narrative is kind of illogical at certain points. But again, that's not the main point of the movie. Never was. Yeah.
I
And
thought it was
yeah.
also. Oh, sorry. I thought it was also really interesting how all of like the reason why she like escapes and the reason why what I saw is like the reason why the doppelganger like escapes is because like everyone who went in pretty much went in knowing that they were going to die,
Yeah.
committing suicide. And the only people that made it out were her and him because they wanted to get out. And everyone else only
You're
went as
right.
far as they wanted to go.
They had a reason.
So, like, even that one lady who's like, I'm going to reach the lighthouse. Like, she reached the lighthouse. She wanted to know, but
Didn't want to get out.
her goal wasn't to leave. No, she knew she was going to die. So,
Yeah.
she didn't care. She wanted
Yeah.
to go out on her own terms. And that's kind of everyone in the film, right? Especially that Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to be one with nature.
I want me to plant people. Let me embrace
Yeah.
them. Just
But
call
it's
me
like, I get
Ruthschellen.
it because
Yeah.
she saw all these people dying so violently, struggling, and she's like, I want to go out on my own terms. And so she just
Yeah.
becomes a plant.
Just plant lady.
I must go now. My people need me.
Yeah.
My plant
I'm-
people need me.
I'm a tree
Plant
hugger.
People need me. I'm a tree now.
Yes, I'm a tree
Yeah.
now. I am Groot. Oh, random note: barbecue and chili for Dead by Daylight. It's the best killer perk. It's just for someone in chat, but yeah. Movie, absolutely. I did not expect this to be a thinker movie. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I thought, because my impression again from the trailers, it doesn't really portray it as a movie dealing with like heavy elements or like, you know, that provocative.
Provoking.
Kind of, yeah, provocative, whatever. My mouth is a little acting up. Yeah, there you go. That provoking. Anyways, it's kind of like Barry said, like a horror sci-fi movie. It kind of portrayed it differently because I think the marketing guys are like, no one will want to watch a movie that makes you think, and when you try to portray it as something else, you get people coming in who want an action sci-fi. They're like, what is this nonsense? And they just leave or like hate it. That's why the audience score is kind of lower. It's way lower than the critic score. You should have made an honest trailer for this. You should have been like, hey, we know that this isn't gonna get everyone, but like, this is a great movie. It's well made. It's gonna make you think. It's probably gonna be boring. If you be honest with people, then they'll appreciate it. And I think it would have gotten a bigger audience.
I don't think that the trailer would have.
Not the trailer by itself, like, but marketing in general.
Like, yeah. I'm just thinking about the trailer. I was like, you could show probably like almost any part of this movie, and it wouldn't really spoil anything.
It wouldn't.
Besides
yeah.
Maybe the lighthouse.
Yeah, the light. Don't show. Even if you did, you're like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Well, they do show the lighthouse in like the first 30 seconds of the film too. So it's like, you already know the end goal.
You already know.
Yeah.
You already know.
So I feel like even if you made like a super air quote like spoily trailer, it wouldn't spoil anything about this movie. Just because it's so confusing.
I guess it's just like
confusing, but also like it's done in a way that it forces you to think.
Yeah.
And that's the point of why it's convoluted.
Yeah.
I don't know if it forces you to think. It asks you to think.
Yeah, asks you to think.
Mm-hmm.
You could not think if you want.
Some respect for the audience.
Do you think you could enjoy this movie like just turning your brain off?
No.
I feel like you couldn't.
No. Like there's
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I don't think the main thematic thrust is as opaque as people might think it is. Like I think if you watch the movie through with like a couple brain cells to rub together, you get at least the bare bones.
Totally. Because it hits you with it a couple times through the way, so that you're not surprised when it hits you with that ending scene. Like, because it's there throughout the movie. You know, I think it's the thematic elements are there, encapsulated in each scene. You know, as like kind of like microcosm. But if you have no brain cells and you're watching it, like the lack of character development and action scenes, other than the animal parts, which are freaky. I guess if you're just terrifying, if you just imagine it in real life.
Yeah, that bear is just.
It's like, oh, dude, like captures your voice, or you become part of it. Like, oh yeah. Anyways, like if you turn your brain off, there's like so little highs for like just the general movie audience. I don't think you would have fun with the movie.
For like the popcorn munching, like.
You would need Ghostbusters for that.
Ghostbusters. Something about STEM.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking. I'm watching STEM. I support STEM.
What movie was that? Christopher Nolan, where they're all on the beach.
Inception.
And they're all getting like bombed by the Germans, and they're trying to escape.
I saw someone talking about Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Yes,
that movie was so slow. Barely any action set pieces. Like nothing really like crazy happens. So people hated that movie.
People don't like thinking.
There's not. Yeah, they don't like thinking. They don't like. I think people just don't like slow movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really slow and boring.
Yeah.
um, I guess people could call it tedious, but I mean it's just deliberate
I
and
think it's very
paced.
deliberate. Yeah.
And I guess people just don't appreciate that. Like they just need an action beat every 15 minutes or whatever. You know, you gotta have that action beat. Otherwise, people
Or
get bored.
not even action. I guess you do need action for it to be or comedy. You need action or comedy every so often for like the general appeal. But I feel like you're gonna lose some of the cohesive development of the thematic elements, but you could focus more on the character development and the narrative development a little bit. It's gonna pull away from that because when you have to develop a character, you gotta put in work, you gotta put in time, you gotta put in scenes, right? And like,
Yeah.
if you want to develop a narrative, kind of like explain why there's no hazmat suit for her, like tiny elements like that, or like you go into more of the like what happened to the previous teams, the expeditions, that kind of stuff, then you take away focus from that theme. But if you added that in, I think you might have gotten a little bit more appeal. But yeah, like Barry said, you need action or comedy for the general appeal, and it's kind of hard. But like, if you want your movies to do better, you gotta kind of hide your thematic elements a little bit. You gotta like, it's like
You
when
gotta
you're
trick your
yeah,
audiences
you gotta
into
trick your
thinking
audience.
about things.
Yeah, you gotta trick them a little bit. That's an art, and I know
You
that's
gotta
like,
fool them.
yeah, exactly. And there's no shame in that because that is hard to do. So it's a craft. So if people can do that, I have mad respect for that. Like this is well crafted. It's like an artist making something. But if you want more of these type of movies to be made, you gotta hide it a little bit more. It's sad, but it's the truth.
You gotta sell it to all the idiots.
Yeah. I wouldn't call them idiots, but yeah, just everyone,
I'm
anyone
gonna call
watching.
them idiots.
Okay.
Just call them what they are. Call them what they are, Sam. Call them what they are.
What are we hipsters now after watching this movie? Are we gonna read portraits of an artist as a young man?
You don't have to be smart to enjoy films like this. Just
no.
Yeah.
it's okay not to get everything. I don't get everything out of this movie.
I don't get it
I don't
either,
even
yeah.
think I'm
Yeah,
understanding
same.
like maybe a quarter of what I'm being shown. But it should be fun to think about it, like this little surge of pleasure you get from like, oh, maybe it's like the theme of cancer is a little bit about how we're destroyed and we struggle, but we can be uplifted by the change and in the process of destruction. Yeah, maybe something like that. And it's these cool little thoughts, and then just people don't want to think about things. They just don't want to think.
Yeah.
They don't want to think about things, man.
They don't.
I don't know. Just like, I don't know, and like all these wonderful design elements that just nobody cared about. It didn't bring anybody in, like those cool like silicon trees on the beach,
Ah, yes.
which were just like this wonderful little touch. Like like the shimmer is not just making. It's like putting organic elements into inorganic material and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Human trees. Human shaped trees.
And one thing
Yeah.
that I want to touch on, I don't think it's necessarily played this way, but there's a question of like narrator reliability because the movie is framed.
Yeah, that's very
The movie
true.
is framed as an interview by
Wong.
Benedict Wong, yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Wong.
Wong.
I think that's
Wong
his real
Fu.
name, right?
Yeah,
Wong?
that is his Wong.
Benedict
Yeah.
Wong.
Yep.
Yeah, his name's
Yeah.
Wong.
So he's just gonna be Wong forever. Yeah, like
Wong
the
lives
movie is
on.
framed as like an interview of her kind of recounting the events. And so it could all be horseshit.
Yeah.
For all we know, her recounting of these events could be entirely falsified or changed or like not necessarily accurate. So that's a neat little thing to think about.
Like what is real then? What is
Exactly.
truth?
Or people are like, what if the doppelganger actually killed her and absorbed her memories so that she retold it, and she's pretending so that she can now pretend to be Natalie Portman.
Or she's just lying. She has a great imagination, She has a wonderful imagination. She's a script writer. The alien's a script writer. He's making movies. He's just like, I need a vacation. Let me go to this planet and get some ideas. Like, I'll just mess with them a little bit.
But that's also another thing that's really prevalent in like horror movies is the unreliable narrator. Usually, it's like if it's the like killer talking, then you don't know what's real. You don't know what really happened. So that's really interesting too.
Yeah. That's great, but I hope that's not the case, because then if it brings everything that happened into question, then you lose all of that thematic elements. Like, could just all be a lie. Maybe that's the whole point. Everything's a lie. Nothing's real.
Well, the movie's not real.
The movie's not real. We didn't watch it. We're not real.
So
according to the box office draw, it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. What about? Got him. Yeah, got him. Oh my god, dude, that's the sickest burn I heard. He got him real good. Oh my god.
Stop it, they're already dead.
Yeah, they're already dead.
He's already dead. Oh man.
Just beating a dead horse.
Alex Garland did Ex Machina before this, right? It was like the movie before this one. Did that make
2014?
I want to say that made
pretty well.
That did pretty well.
That's pretty well.
Weird dance scenes included.
Yeah, I could tell this guy's a little bit of a
92% Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 IMDb. Yeah,
you gotta trick your audience, dude. That's a secret.
Gotta trick them.
You gotta trick them.
Gotta sell them with something. It's like, well, man. I mean, I kind of get why this movie made no money, but it's still disappointing. It's still really disappointing.
Yeah.
It made 37 mil.
Wow.
Did it?
Yeah, but its budget was 15, so that's not bad.
Okay, it's not bad.
And they won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
All right, I think
for Annihilation.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, the movie did extremely well in that sense.
In that sense, yeah. You know, if your expectations are high, then I guess it failed. But like, you made a profit.
Well, if you double your budget, that's a success. Yeah, I'd see that as a success.
Me too.
I just really hope.
And it's also Poe.
Yeah, it's Poe.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. He's not really important, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you missed that it was Oscar Isaac. How could you miss that?
No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't actually watched Ex Machina.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Poe is in Ex Machina too?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Ah, okay.
He's like the main. Well, he's not the main character, but he's in the main cast.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Have you guys seen that movie?
I've seen Sunshine. It was the. I can't decide if it's a terrible good movie or a good terrible movie.
Are you talking about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or
Sunshine?
Sunshine.
Where they have to go blow up the sun to make it work again.
I think it's a terrible good movie. I think it's a good movie, but it's kind of terrible.
I've seen Journey to the Center of the Earth. That was pretty bad.
Okay, that's just a terrible movie.
Yeah, take that movie, but invert it. Where instead of they're going down, they're going up.
They're going up. I think the problem is I watch these movies, but like I forgot about them.
Not Journey to the Center of the Earth. The Core.
The Core. Okay, the Core.
Where they have to blow up the center of the Earth in order to fix the Earth. It's the same movie, but instead of going down, they're going up.
What about Armageddon, where they have to blow up an asteroid? Journey was terrible.
Nuke it, man. That's just nuke it. That's always the solution.
Wow, this is kind of sad too. Budget 23 mil, made 32 mil. Sunshine.
Oh, it made money.
Barely.
I mean, it was at least an interesting film.
I enjoyed it up until the third act.
Man, it went full weird. They went full sicko mode in that third act. It's like,
Never go full
remember
sicko
how
mode.
the movie was like grounded up until now? Well, fuck
Grounded
that.
and based on there's relationships between characters and ideas such as reality. Yeah, we're throwing that out the window now.
That's just gone. That's just gone.
We're
closing
offloading
it with
now.
we're closing it with like Freddy Krueger and
Wait, really?
We're closing it out with Jesus. That's it. We're closing it out with Jesus.
God.
it was so weird. Have you not seen that movie, Sam?
I think I watched it, but it was too long ago, and I don't remember anything. Because I watched a lot of movies, I still remember them.
I mean, you probably would have remembered this because it's like that can be said. It's a memorable film. Some weird shit happens.
When was this released? 2007.
It was a while back.
Yeah, if I watched it, I would have remembered. I guess I didn't watch it. I was old enough.
Like, the best part of the movie is a joke. I heard about it later, where like, like they had ample opportunity, and not once did an actor turn towards the camera and say, "It's daylight savings time."
They're flying
They had a
around.
whole movie to set it up, and they never did it.
They should have.
It's daylight savings time.
Literally saving daylight. What a missed opportunity.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a Bruce Willis one-liner.
Just like you gotta stare at the camera though. You gotta turn around and be like, daylight saving time.
It's daylight savings
It's like you turn around to the camera. That's a great show. You know what? Let's edit that into the movie as a side joke.
Just edit it in.
Yeah, just edit it in.
To our own supercut.
Yeah, our own
the
supercut.
climax of the movie where they're like riding their giant super bomb into the sun. It's daylight savings time.
Exactly.
They just blow it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we've covered everything. I mean, this was a little bit different because we didn't really do anything chronologically like we usually do.
Yeah, it wasn't the point. I felt like it would have kind of detract from what was important of the movie too much. Like,
yeah.
I
think it's better.
Like no other movie kind of does this. Well, there are a lot, but doesn't do it as well as this one did recently.
Yeah.
People enjoyed it.
Blade Runner 2049. We can move on to the second movie in our sci-fi cemetery trilogy.
We could. I like the
close it with with Pandora.
Pandora. Okay, no, we gotta. What was the bet we did for Pandora?
You have whoever wins. The
Last Jedi.
Debate,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if Barry wins, we have to watch Pandora, and if Sam, you win, then you have to pick a movie.
No, it was Battlefield Earth. I already picked it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I say you can't let him win.
I can't. I would have to switch sides.
Wait a minute. Come on. You'd rather watch this creepy movie than just a bad movie?
Yeah, I think so. It's okay. I'll be the moderator because I honestly did enjoy The Last Jedi when I watched it in theaters.
I enjoyed it when I wasn't thinking about the movie, but when I thought about it, like, so it's like this thing where, like, it's bad, but like it's not on the surface. Like if it's on the surface, like Suicide Squad, you're just like, I can't watch this. This movie's so bad that I can't watch it. But like Last Jedi,
straight to the core.
Yeah, it just like tricks you a little bit. You're like, this, flashes some imagery, and you're like, oh, I'm distracted. I can't think about what's happening here. Like, okay, I guess this is okay. And then, but when you go back home, and I was thinking about it, and I was just like, why is this movie bothering me? There must be something wrong with it. And then when I rewatched parts of it and I thought about it again, I was like, no, this movie actually has some really bad things going on. Again, not a bad movie overall. I just think it's just not a good movie. Oh, Jigsaw Puzzles on Tabletop soon. All right, yeah.
I look forward to changing your mind, Sam, and then we can watch Pandora.
You won't. No. We're watching Battlefield Earth. Actually, yeah, we're watching Battlefield Earth.
Wait, can I just drop something wild?
Sure, go ahead.
So I watched Spider-Man yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Far From Home.
yes,
Oh, what'd you think?
dude, it was. I thought I honestly liked it better than Homecoming.
All right.
Really?
Wait. I need
Yeah.
to know though. I need to know. All right.
Wait, was
What?
this
Yeah.
English with Japanese subtitles?
Yeah, English with Japanese
Japanese
subtitles.
dub would have been hilarious. I want to know what Japanese Spider-Man sounds like.
They have Japanese dub.
I want to know what it
Oh my
sounds like.
god, I want to find this version.
Yeah, I want to find it.
Oh my god.
If it's good as a Korean dub on Thor Ragnarok, I'm down, dude. Just make like anime memes out of it, you know?
Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the question, and then I don't know if Barry you're down for spoilers. If not, you can mute yourself. You're
Do you
deafening
want to
yourself.
know, Sam?
I just want to know is Jake Gyllenhaal a bad guy? Is he a bad
Well, he's
guy?
not a bad guy.
Not a bad guy, but like, is he a bad guy?
Bad guy.
Yeah. Is he the villain? Is he the antagonist? as Barry put it.
Do you really want to know?
I want to
Sam?
know.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to know, Barry?
I don't particularly care. I think
Okay.
the movie.
I just think he is. I want to be surprised. If you say no, my mind's gonna be blown, and I'm gonna watch it day one. But if you say yes, I'm just gonna be like, I'm so disappointed. All right, hit me. Is he the antagonist? Not like oh he's a bad guy pretending to be good, and all of a sudden there's another villain. I just mean, is he a bad guy, like pretending to be good?
Is he a bad guy pretending to be
Yeah.
good? How many people are watching? How many people want to know these spoilers?
I mean, it's kind of obvious if you know Spider-Man lore. Let's see, we got 3 people, but I don't know if that counts us. We got Cam, I think. That's all I know of.
Yeah. Spoiler warning, guys.
I like you put in chat spoiler warning.
All right, hit me. I want to know if he's the antagonist. Not like the main villain, but is he a good guy? A bad guy pretending to be good, or is it more nuanced than that? Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
Disappoint me, Marvel. Make him good for once. You know how awesome it would be, like if they portrayed him as a bad guy pretending to be good, but then he's actually a good guy. Oh my god! You know, like how like
the double back.
The double, yeah, the double bad guy routine.
They might eventually do it, but the golden rule of Marvel is nothing ever really changes.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
No one's ever really gone. You know, in Marvel,
No,
nothing ever really changes.
Why would you bring that up? That trailer, all those fanboys with the theories. I'm like, oh my god, Emperor Palpatine's back.
No one ever really. Just stop it with the theories, guys. Stop it with the theories. Make the movie worse for yourself.
Unlimited power.
I would be fine with them coming back, just because I really love.
I think he's way better than Snoke.
No, I just love the actor. His portrayal of Palpatine, and I don't remember his name, but he's done it. He did it in the original trilogy, and he did it in the prequels, and now he might get to reprise it again.
Wait, but here's the big point though. If no one's ever really gone, that means Pointy Hat Man is alive and well somewhere, right? He could show up in Star Wars.
No,
you don't know.
Shit.
No, I won't believe that.
Snap, he's gone.
He is the true hero.
Gone.
He's gone in 2 movies. He's so gone that he's dead in both, more than 1 movie. He just shows up dead. Yeah. Darn it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Spider-Man though, and there's one fight scene, which, no spoilers, I just think it's probably either my favorite or my second favorite fight scene in all of Marvel history.
Really?
Yeah. So
including like that awesome Winter Soldier fight with Cap and Bucky.
Yeah. I really like.
Okay.
But
better than John Wick 3.
The knife fight scene with the hatch. Nah.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too.
I might see it.
I tried to watch it release, but everything was sold out like a few days in advance.
Wow, even
Yeah,
Japan?
everything has been sold out consistently for like the last couple days.
I guess I think
Crazy.
Spider-Man is like the one Marvel property that really it's really popular in Japan. I know a lot
No,
of
just everything in general is really popular
really.
in Japan. Yeah, like they really like Iron Man in Japan, and they don't like Captain America, because Captain America.
Let's make a Captain Japan, you know?
Just fucking just
Captain Japan.
Yeah,
Captain
Captain
USA.
Japan. Yeah.
hmm But yeah, they really like Iron Man. Yeah, they really like Spider-Man. People here really like Thor. Koreans really like Thor.
I love Thor.
I remember watching like all the this little interview series of like people after Endgame, like in Korea, because
Mhm.
like it's super huge in Korea.
Yeah, it's
And
so
like they were
big.
talking to all these girls, they're like, who's your favorite Avenger? And they're like, well, it was Thor. Like he ain't cute anymore. So
Koreans are super hard on like you gotta be skinny.
Oh,
Fat people.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, like
way to fat shame Korea. Shame on you.
dude, didn't you hear like you gotta watch the interview with the Miss
For
Korea.
sure.
Cultivating mascots.
Yeah, like the Miss Korea winner, she is skinny compared to American standards, but like people were saying we can't have someone fat like her be representing beauty in Korea, and if you look at her, she ain't fat, bro. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
be super skinny in Korea.
It's like it's really bad.
It's disgusting.
really bad.
Yeah, like if you're an idol, they have weigh-ins. They literally check your weight, and if you're over it, there's like penalties. That's why all of them look super skinny. I feel like some of them look a little too emaciated, but like they all look great.
I think the idol industry is going through some pretty major shakeups.
Yeah, it
In the
is.
Well,
near
because
future.
of recent scandals.
A lot of
Many
scandals.
recent scandals.
A
I'm
lot.
surprised it took this long to come to light because everybody knew about it going back like a decade.
Totally.
You know, like you're hearing like people straight up say like, oh yeah, like there's a huge drug problem. There's like there's a straight up prostitution problem in the
Yeah.
idol industry, and people knew about this stuff for a very long time. And it's just like now for some reason it's breaking. You're like, okay, it wasn't news to me, but I guess it's news now.
Like
Now that it's out in the public.
yeah, like it just makes sense because if you look at any industry, it's how it works. It's just filled with a bunch of people who are out to screw you over. Just shady people everywhere.
I mean, it's just gross. I guess it's proven that the entertainment industry is just gross around the world.
Yeah.
Not just in the US.
I think I remember reading that it started with the Me Too movement kind of. I got some, differing opinions on how effective it is, but like one good thing that came out of it was like there are people in
It's
Korea.
a lot of people that come forward.
Yeah, a lot of people come forward, and I think they're not afraid to speak out now, and I think that's that kind of environment.
Better.
Yeah,
it's getting better.
Like if you can speak about something, then you can actually do something about it, right? At least get it known, and I think that's why it's happening now, because like people are more receptive to talk about something, especially if they went through something that traumatic. Like usually they don't want to talk about it because it's kind of sad, but the mindset of a victim is that it's their fault, right? That's and like the psychology of the victim. That's why they don't want to talk. And but like when people are saying no, it's not your fault, right? Something terrible has been done to you by terrible people, and they're like, okay, maybe I can do something about it, and then people will come forward a bit more. But yeah, I think that's why it's happening in Korea. Like that kind of environment didn't really exist as much before.
Yeah.
I
think they're making moves to make it better, but also in Japan, it's like I'm riding the subway. I'm like, man, I wonder what that says. It's like the announcement on like the like scrolls by, and it's like, just to let you know, harassment is illegal in Japan. I was like, oh,
okay. You know, like the gropers on the trains and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Come
pretty
on,
bad.
come on, you
It's really
pervs.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super gross.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry in Japan is also pretty gross. I don't know if it's as bad as Korea's gotten, but yeah, it's pretty bad as well.
It's pretty
It's kind
bad.
of toxic too. They have like the same like anti-dating policies and like
Yeah.
I think they still make them do weigh-ins and stuff.
Oh
I'm
yeah, the
sure they do.
anti-dating
Yeah.
dating thing. So they just date in
Yeah.
secret. You
Like,
already know.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you get caught dating, you get kicked out of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
super
then
weird. I never
Yeah.
understood why it was so different in Japan and Korea, because in the U.S., like all the like
all
most
the hype is
popular,
celebrities dating.
yeah, like they're all either
It's-
dating or like straight up married.
It's
And
because
that's not
they're
stopped by
objects that you lust after. So like if they're already taken, it kind of breaks that for those cultures.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
It's
kind
like,
of put it
oh,
on
I
a
can't,
pedestal, you know?
this
Like
can't be my girlfriend
yeah,
because she's
my
already dating
waifu.
someone else.
Even though you
Oh,
got
yeah,
That's
zero
the
chance.
reason why. That's
Yeah.
the reason why.
Yeah, you want
Yeah.
waifus. That's why.
But like,
Yeah,
like take
honestly.
U.S. Like Scarlett Johansson's married and she's still a
People
massive
don't
sex
care in the
symbol.
U.S. The culture's a little different. Like I don't care. No, not me, not me. And personally, I'm just saying like people, guys wouldn't
Yeah,
care
just
if she was
like
married.
this movie, right?
Yeah, just like this movie, they don't care.
Just like this movie, they don't care.
They don't care about it. So it's different. And which is
Oh, man.
weird because extramarital affairs are really common in those countries. Like I feel like there's no divorce, but there's a lot of affairs, like left and
A
right.
lot of sleeping around.
Yeah, a lot of sleeping around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of divorce in the U.S.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I heard recently like people just stop getting married at a certain point. They're just like, let's not even try. So they're like,
That's when you have a civil union.
no, you just
Yeah.
I don't just don't get married. Just living together, just checking up.
Yeah, having kids, but you're not married.
Yeah, you don't even know where the kids
Yeah.
are from. It's like, is this my kid? I just picked them off the street.
Just adopt them.
Yeah. No, you just someone put like a baby just in your car and like, is this my baby? I don't remember. It's just like, whatever. It's my baby now.
You're my child now.
You're my child now, yeah.
You are a child of Thanos.
Yeah. My daddy's name is Black Dynamite too.
Have you seen Black Dynamite, Barry?
I've not.
Oh, dude, you need to
Barry,
watch it.
You're missing out, dude.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It's an
Is
awesome
it?
movie. It's yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll have to check.
I
that
still remember lines of dialogue and like scenes from that movie. It sticks with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've seen it like maybe 4 or 5 times now.
It's hilarious.
It's a great film.
Yep.
It's Michael J. White.
Yeah.
This dude, he's a beast.
And
He actually knows how to fight. So
yeah, the
mad
funny thing
props.
is he's doing a comedy.
And he wrote and directed that movie too.
Oh,
right?
really? Okay, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
That makes it even better. And he
Even-
cast himself as the main lead
Yeah.
actor.
Oh my god, it's so good. He's perfect in that movie. He is Black Dynamite.
Sounds like a real winner.
It is.
If you
it
watch his
is.
other movies, like what Blood and Bone, it's like him playing a super serious guy who literally just beats the absolute crap out of everyone. And then,
And then
save
you
him in
get Black Dynamite. Yeah.
Ugh.
My goodness.
Okay, I'll have to check that movie out then.
Yeah,
On your
Definitely
recommendation.
recommend.
definitely. If you got some time to kill, you want like after you get depressed or like after watching Annihilation and you're like, I don't want to think anymore, just watch Black Dynamite because it's so funny. It'll be like life is worth living again. It has cured my cancer.
If you liked Annihilation and you just want a really slow, really boring movie, go watch Solaris.
It's free on YouTube.
Solaris.
I don't know if it's legal. If it's legal or
I don't
not.
know if that's legal, but it's there.
It's there, yeah. It's just anyone can watch
There
it.
it is.
Yeah.
The original Russian one. There's the newer one with George Clooney, which is not on YouTube.
For good
It's
reason.
also a pretty good movie. It's a very similar movie, but it's not 3 hours long. You know,
Mm.
the movie it does not it's not afraid to just show you nothing for like 10 minutes.
I really
Oh my God.
wanted to watch Split and Mr. Glass. If you guys are down, do that podcast on those later.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes. M.
Shyamalan.
Night.
Oh man,
plot
if you don't
twist.
like pretentiousness, I don't know. Shyamalan is about as pretentious as it gets.
Totally, dude. Totally. I think so. Like, you know, Sixth Sense was great, right? You didn't see the pretentiousness there, but then you kind of
It was
see
like
it in
one of his
signs.
first films.
Yeah, that is.
Well, he's a newbie director. That's
He
why.
is, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
Split. Oh, okay, Cam says Split is his favorite movie in recent years. But like, the point where I saw it was that in Signs, where the entire movie is based on having this plot twist at the end. Like everything, the character storylines, like everything happening in a narrative, it's just designed for this plot twist payoff at the end, and it's stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's really stupid. Like,
and like I remember watching it and like having this vivid image of like M. Night Shyamalan like breaking his
Spamalan.
arm, patting himself on the back.
It's like, oh yeah, I got him good, guys. I got him good with this twist. Got him. You never saw that one coming.
No one knew.
No one knew all these aliens. They're weak to water, even though everything's like there's water everywhere. What if there's a rainstorm?
It's like the stupidest. It was so dumb. It's like
It's a slightly heavy shower.
Yes.
Why would you
die.
invade a planet where the surface is like 80% water
Yeah.
and attack people whose bodies are 75%
What if
water?
I just spit on him? What if I pee on him?
What if I just bleed on you?
Yeah.
Would you die?
Would you die?
We're essentially, if you think about it, we are essentially the aliens from Aliens to them.
Yeah.
Like if they cut us, our blood is
Yeah,
acid.
you're right. You're right. Well,
I
just like
just pop up in your jugular and start bleeding.
just like Monty Python style, like all this fake blood squirting out of like a hose. You're just spraying it at him. The alien's like, no, I'm melting. Oh, my pop filter came off. Whatever.
It was so dumb.
It was so dumb, and like, oh, the good
But
news is,
astonishingly,
yeah,
it's not his stupidest movie.
it's not. It's not. Apparently, Split had the plot twist, but the movie didn't revolve around it. That's what I want. Like Sixth Sense was a great film.
I like Split.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are down, we can do a podcast on that later because I want to talk about some of his better movies later, maybe later, because it's kind of interesting how far he fell, how that twist became his main driving point to making these movies and lost focus on everything else.
I think people just fed his ego too much. They were
Yeah.
like, "This is the new Steven Spielberg," and like he like drank the Kool-Aid or something. Because there was that movie where he cast himself as like a genius writer, and you're like, "Oh, come on, dude, come on."
No.
Just
Drank
stop.
way too much Kool-Aid.
Way too much.
He got
Kool-Aid.
diabetes from the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
He's just swimming in it, dude.
Yeah.
Got a swimming pool full of Kool-Aid.
It's like drinking it. It's like, oh, this would have been great for the Alien movie.
I
Would have been good for science. Yeah.
I guess like Split and Glass are like kind of a revitalization for him.
Totally. Because Unbreakable was okay.
He made Unbreakable?
He did.
Really?
Yeah. This is a
Actually, I liked
trilogy.
Unbreakable.
It's a trilogy. Unbreakable, Split, and Mr. Glass. They're all related. Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why they're all together, right?
Mhm.
For
Mr. Glass.
For Glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just want to kind of see where it goes. You know, how he evolves. Maybe he learned that the twist isn't the most important thing in a movie.
Well, you would think that, but there's still a very. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I had it spoiled for me because I just frankly didn't care.
Okay.
But in Glass, there's a pretty big twist in it.
Wait, Glass is out already?
Yeah,
Came out a while ago.
I
it came
didn't.
out quite a while ago.
I'm
It's
not paying
already
attention.
out of theaters.
Yeah.
It's like it's a really cheaply made movie, which doesn't really detract from it, but it's very noticeable at points. And then like there's this issue where, and I think we've talked about this problem before, where they probably only had Samuel L. Jackson for like 3 days of shooting.
Oh, so it's the Odin effect.
The Odin effect.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we gotta get it all done in 3 days, guys." Just
He's got to go shoot Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
yeah. And there's just like, yeah, the twist makes the movie worse. And
For
there is a
Glass.
twist. Yeah, for Glass.
There's always a
Yes.
twist.
Oh,
Yeah, there's always a
I want to
twist.
know now. You mind telling me? You want to spoil it for everyone?
I mean, do you want me to actually spoil it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh,
So-
I care.
Oh, okay.
oh.
Okay, no spoilers. That's okay.
Okay, I won't
Yeah.
spoil it.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it later. We'll spoil it for ourselves. How about that? By
Sure.
watching it.
I mean, did you want to do this for the next podcast? Like watch Split and then Glass and then talk about it?
Yeah. Are you down for that, Isaiah? Oh, Isaiah deafened himself. Oh, he's going to the bathroom real quick. All right. Yeah, I was thinking, what if we do this? What if we watch Split and Glass, and then we go to Blade Runner after that? I feel like maybe 2 back-to-backs. You know, you don't want to like be depressed, right? Or like, right? But if you just watch only depressing movies, you're like, oh man, being human sucks. I don't
Well,
want to
Blade
be.
Runner was not a depressing movie. I'll
It
say
wasn't.
that.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Have you not seen it?
No, I have not seen it.
It's not. I mean, there's sad points, but
Okay.
I think that the ending is actually kind of a happy ending.
Really?
It gives you a lot of hope, a lot of faith in humanity, quote unquote,
Oh,
all humanity.
like you mean androids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a spoiler. They establish right away, okay, that Ryan Gosling is a replicant.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He's a replicant.
I have to rewatch the old original Blade Runner because I kind of missed the fact that Harrison Ford might have been a replicant. Like I missed that. I think when I watched it, I might have been in college and I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just like watching this movie. I was like, oh,
It
that's
was-
kind of boring.
Like they pose it like as a question, and like in the final cut, it's basically implied that he is, but I think
Yeah.
it makes the movie worse if he's a replicant.
It's better if it's just implied and like you're just a question.
I mean, it's fine if it's a question, but
Okay.
I think it makes it makes more sense if he's a human.
Mhm.
Harrison Ford makes more sense, and I think it makes the film better overall thematically.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely rewatch it. I think I like the new one better, but
Gotcha.
the old one has its charm.
Like I was actually okay with I, Robot. Was it I, Robot with Will Smith? We are done. Done. We're done talking about spoilers. Is he still deafened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done talking about spoilers.
Hey, we weren't talking about spoilers. Yeah. All right, Isaiah, what do you think about this? Let's watch Split and Glass for next week's podcast,
Okay.
and then we'll go back to Blade Runner because I was like, you don't want to do 2 like depressing sci-fis in a row. But it's
I
like,
don't mind watching Blade Runner again.
really?
I like Blade
Okay.
Runner. I recently rewatched it like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wow, so
But,
it's still
yeah.
fresh on your mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Think-
I
It's a
actually
good
watched
movie.
it again. Also, the new one, not the old one. A couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Wow. Okay, so it's fresh on
Maybe I
both
should
minds.
rewatch the old one too.
Yeah, if you thought this movie was slow, wait till you watch Blade Runner.
Blade Runner is like next level slow. Oh my
I'm
Blade
okay
Runner.
with slow. Yeah.
I thought it was so funny because I went and watched it with like a bunch of church people, and I was like, "This is a terrible idea," because I was one of 2 people. Me and one other kid. We were the only people who had seen the first Blade Runner movie, and the second Blade Runner movie is just like, "Here you go, figure it out."
I
They don't
don't.
give you like.
Could you watch
they
it without having watched the original? I feel like it's
No, I did.
workable.
I think it's just that you don't expect that kind of movie. Not like the narrative, but like I think
They
more
didn't know
like
what they signed themselves up for.
like the
a
slow sci-fi.
2.5
Yeah.
super slow sci-fi. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is so slow. They don't fuck around with the shot. They're like, here it is. Here it will be for the next 10 minutes.
Enjoy this shot.
Yep.
Enjoy it.
Savor it. Yeah. And it just keeps going. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's still going. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Wait, so do we want to do Blade Runner or Split in Glass?
I kind of prefer Blade Runner, but I'm fine
All
with
right,
either.
let's do Blade Runner.
Yeah, I'm down for Blade
Let's
Runner.
do Blade Runner, and then we'll do Split in Glass after that.
Are you the only one who hasn't seen the second 2049?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so my take
But
on it
you've
will
seen
be
the
fresh.
original, right?
I did, but I don't remember a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it was a visually striking movie for me because it was kind of like the first time I seen that kind of like dirty and gritty sci-fi. It was a little different than The Matrix, where it's like, oh no, humanity's lost everything. It's more like, oh, everything
sucks.
Yeah, everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Life sucks.
Life sucks. Yeah. And I just remember some of the scenes being real slow. Like, is there a prostitute replicant in the original?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
scene being pretty long. Not a take being long, but that scene, just going for a long time, and it being visually striking. I remember some other scenes being
Are
visually
you talking
striking.
about the snake one or like the dancer one?
The dancer one? Does she have like the net hosing on her legs? Am I thinking of the right?
I think you're talking about like the snake burlesque performer lady.
Okay, yeah. I just remember that scene. There's a truck somewhere, right?
Yeah, at the end of the scene.
At the end of the scene when they're out in the street, yeah.
Yeah, just
like he's investigating this this possible replicant, and he finds her, and then the scene, and then he does this stupid voice for some reason to try to disguise himself, and you're like,
I'm
why are you
Batman.
doing that voice? Why are you doing that voice? No, it's not even. It's just like, excuse me, I'm a investigator from the. That's the actual voice that he does. And you're like, what are you doing, Harrison? What are you doing?
It's so funny.
It's such a weird scene because it kind of undercuts the rest. It makes the entire rest of the movie a little bit worse.
Okay, I don't remember that
like
part. If I remember that, yeah.
The Harrison Ford monologue, right? That he has to go on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Or like at the beginning or the end of the film, where they were like.
I remember the end where he's talking to the replicant
to do a monologue. But it's like the most dead, like soulless monologue.
Oh, you're talking about like the voiceover?
Yeah,
the voiceover isn't in the final cut. The voiceover was in the original theatrical release.
Yeah.
And then like,
and he just didn't want to do it.
Wait,
he clearly didn't want to do it.
Which version do you recommend watching? Because I know there's a lot of versions out there.
It's like the final cut or ultimate cut is probably the best one to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one without the voiceover. The voiceover is exceptionally bad.
But what if I want to see that?
Is there an extended director's for 2049? There should be, right?
It's even longer.
Because the movie's like 2.5 hours. I would assume that there's like a 3-hour director's cut.
4-hour version.
There's probably like a 4-hour cut, and it's just literally the same movie, but every shot is just like 10 minutes long.
That's just called bad editing, dude. Like,
I would find that so funny.
I don't know if it's bad. It's a very deliberate editing.
Okay, if it's deliberate, like if the shots are long on purpose, I understand. But like,
slow. But when I watched it in theaters, it was just like visually so stunning.
Yeah.
It was like, even though it was slow, I enjoyed it.
It was. Yeah. I found it very refreshing. Like, I will admit that a lot of the shots could have been cut for clarity and brevity. But I was just so happy to be sitting in the theater and not have to deal with like cutting away from something every like 5 frames.
Yeah,
I just give you time to like sit and experience.
Oh my god,
movie.
I feel like YouTube is ruining cinema because if you watch YouTubers, they always have jump cuts like every freaking second.
Cuts, everything is
They're just like
every clip is like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like oh, there was no reason to make that cut there. You just You're just bad. You need to have something to keep the ADD people watching. To just make jump cuts that aren't necessary. Just like breaks the flow of the video for no reason. It's just bad editing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is why I also think like slower paced good movies are now so much rarer and they don't do well.
Yeah.
People are just
sad.
They can't deal with having to sit through something that's not extremely stimulating.
Every 2 seconds, I need to see something new.
Yeah.
What is this? This is in YouTube.
The Michael Bay.
Yeah.
We need more explosions.
Hey, I like Michael Bay. I think he's a genius. I think he's a secret genius.
Like Transformers 5, Michael Bay, Sam? Is this the genius you're talking about?
No. Bad Boys. Okay. I'm talking about Bad Boys. No, not even first Transformers. I'm talking about old Michael Bay. Dude,
like how old?
Like Armageddon?
Armageddon. Like
Bay?
let me look. There's so many movies that are just like, this is so bad it's good, but it's intentionally bad. Like there's a thought process in making it bad a certain way. It's an art form, you know?
My favorite part of Armageddon is like this interview with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Where he talks about them making the movie and he's having a conversation with Michael Bay. He's like, Michael, it kind of would make a lot more sense to have astronauts that you teach how to drill. Wouldn't that make more sense? And Michael Bay's response was just, how about you shut the fuck up?
Oh, wow.
So that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Ben Affleck was like, I'm going to go direct Good Will Hunting.
All right. So here it is, all right? Tell me he isn't a genius. You got Bad Boys, okay? We got The Rock with Sean Connery. I'm not talking about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I'm talking about the movie The Rock. All right.
Okay.
We got Armageddon. We got Pearl Harbor.
Dog.
We got Bad Boys 2. All right. Those movies are iconic. They're like the go-to action movies.
Name something within the last 5 years of Michael Bay that's good.
That's a trick question. Doesn't exist. Transformers?
The Transformers movies, I give them a pass just because they brought Peter Cullen back as Optimus Prime. And every time he delivers a goddamn line, like I'm 5 years old sitting in front of my TV watching Transformers, playing with my toys. That's all I really care about. The fact that he's still Optimus Prime, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Every time he's like, "My name is Optimus Prime," I'm like, "Yes, your name is Optimus Prime. That's exactly right." Oh, it's just beautiful, man. It's just beautiful.
Okay.
Everything else sucks, but that's
Everything else
beautiful.
sucks.
Everything else sucks. Everything around it. I will say that as like terrible and jarring as like the action and the CG is, it looks good.
It looks good.
They do a good job of making the Transformers look like they're sitting in the world, as opposed to like a terrible green screen mess.
Yeah, totally.
The Odin effect.
The Odin effect, yeah.
Yeah, the Odin effect.
Yeah, I feel like even though the Transformer movies are bad, they're still better than Suicide Squad. Like,
yeah.
Right?
There's
There's structure. There's some sort of something that resembles a story, right? With some sort of logic to it. Some characters.
There's characters that do some things.
They do things.
They do
exist.
things, yes, that's correct. Wait, we need to rate Annihilation.
We need to. Okay.
Oh, okay.
How many Suicide Squads? Yes.
I would probably give it.
We need to start a Google.
Google Doc. I'm gonna start a Google Doc right now.
Need to rank them. Yeah.
Google Sheets. We need a spreadsheet.
Yes.
All right.
And then we'll give every person's ranking for every film.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. How do I? Okay.
How would we rank this?
I would probably give this 8 Suicide Squads.
8. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, that is a lot of Suicide Squads. Again, the rating system doesn't really matter, and you can't determine the value of one Suicide Squad. Alright, Barry gave it 8. Alright. How about you, Isaiah? We're doing alphabetical order.
7.75.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, just a
okay,
little
that's
below
high
an 8.
praise.
Yeah,
High praise.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, our metric in rating movies is Suicide Squads. It's our thing, you know. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 5. Here's why. I know it seems low. All right, I have a reasoning to it. All right, it makes you think about stuff, like deep things. Suicide Squad just makes me think about how bad that movie is, and to this day we can't get over it. Right? So like, it's making me think about something. I'm questioning humanity because Suicide Squad made more money than Annihilation, and it's just like making me think about the terrible nature of humanity. So like, in that sense, you know, like, I guess it's kind of even, and like the narrative and character development is weak. It's but it's still there, so I give it 5 Suicide Squads. All right, like, all right, so there's a logic to it. Like, I'm just thinking. Again, there's no value. It's random. Every episode is gonna change. Don't try to make sense of it. It's like the gold coins in John Wick. You just don't think about it, right? Don't think about it too much.
Also one body.
Yeah.
It's the same.
How many Suicide Squads is your favorite movie? I don't know. What is my favorite movie? I don't even know.
I would probably say Inception.
Inception? How many Suicide Squads do you give it?
That'd be at least 11. It goes past 10.
It goes past 10. Wow.
Okay.
Goes past 10.
All right.
Wow.
11? Oh, you're turning it to 11. How about you, Barry? How many Suicide Squads do you give Inception?
How many would I give Inception?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't talk
Probably
right now.
like
Some
7 or
water. 8? 7 or 8?
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
I have to rewatch it and think about it.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it as well. I am undetermined, not applicable. I don't remember enough about the movie to give it an accurate rating.
We gotta just do a rewatch, you know. Everyone's gotta watch Inception.
We take our Suicide Squad rating seriously. All right, it's a science here. It's not a estimation.
Yes. What were our previous rankings? So Suicide Squad's obviously 0 across the board.
Yeah, Suicide Squad is 0.
I gave Suicide Squad 1.
1? Oh yeah.
Oh,
we
so
can't give it a 0.
Yeah, it's the base. It's the base.
Yeah,
You're
true.
You're right.
1 for everyone as the baseline.
Yeah.
I would give it -5 if that were possible.
It's -5 of itself.
I have like lost part of my soul that I could not bring back because of Suicide Squad.
You have to watch it twice, right?
I had to watch it twice.
Wait, did you watch it 3 times?
I watched it, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, wow. I'm lucky. I watched it
once in theaters, and then I watched it again on my own time just to make sure I wasn't crazy and that it was actually that bad, and then I rewatched it again for the podcast. And I died a little bit more each time. Although there was a certain amount of entertainment to like just see how bad things can get, you know?
Yeah.
It's like morbid curiosity.
All right, I shared a doc in the link. That's an edit. What you want to call it? Edit link. So you don't want to send it out to anyone because we can't have our Suicide Squad rating system interfered with. So Cam was wondering if you guys are down to play tabletop sim after this.
Probably not. I'm
pretty
exhausted.
You're pretty pooped. All right. I lost track of our previous ratings, so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the end.
For the previous,
I remember
dig through the VOD. That'll be kind of hard, but yeah.
I think we've given out quite a few ratings. I remember I gave Matrix 9. I think that's my highest rating so far.
You're right.
What's the Matrix?
Yeah, it was the Matrix.
I'll have to listen back. I don't want to put down the wrong numbers because, you know, this is an art and a science.
We didn't rate the movies before Suicide Squad either.
It's okay. Doesn't have to. Well, we can rate them afterwards. Yeah.
We can rate them later.
Yeah. We can retroactively rate them.
Yes,
we're retconning our own rating system.
We posthumously rate our movies.
What do we start with? Was it Endgame?
Yeah, we did.
Endgame? Okay.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? Why
And
don't
then
we
I
rate
wasn't
that?
there. And then
Yeah.
we did Thor next.
Thor Ragnarok. Oh shoot, let me
Is that the second
alphabetize
one?
this. Oh shoot, hold on.
Then we
crap.
gotta take the value totals, and then we gotta put them up like that.
Hold on, I gotta put this as 0. So when I alphabetize it, there we go. All right, let's do
I feel like
Endgame.
I probably would never give out like a 0, or a 10, because that would imply that either the movie is completely without value or is perfect.
And no movie is
Personally.
perfect. But what if we find the perfect movie?
I don't
Then we
know.
quit the podcast.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait until we talk about The Last Jedi.
Oh my god. Nah.
God.
God it's M. Night Shyamalan movie. The plot twist is that Last Jedi is actually good.
Not only good, but perfect
In every way possible.
Without flaw.
Without flaw. You heard it here first, folks. Last Jedi is the perfect movie made. Nothing can beat it. Oh, don't at me.
Don't at me.
Do not at me.
Add Barry, please. Wait, why does it keep saying Annihilation episode 8? It's weird. Oh, you're typing in the episode numbers? Alright.
Who keeps doing that?
Okay, that makes sense. I'll just write F1 then. I mean, it'll be nice to keep track of the episodes, I guess.
Yeah, because then we'll know.
Yeah.
Like, because if we rearrange it based on the total point values, then we can just have and see which episodes we thought were like the best or the worst.
I don't like it going after.
We'll also kind of offhandedly rated other movies.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I think
true.
we gave a rating for like
But I don't think we should fully rate a movie until we've like actually watched it and done the review.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because that's just us thinking about like, oh, maybe I watched this movie like 3-4 years ago. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do this. This is cleaner. You know, you gotta for a spreadsheet. You know, you gotta be systematic. Each column should only contain a bit of data. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta show it to people. Art here. With this. Oh, it's kind of small. Can I make this bigger? I can't. Darn it, Google Sheets. How do I make it bigger? Zoom. Yeah, there we go.
You should be able to zoom in. Yeah.
Look at this. This is art here. Alright, how about we do this? Let's rate Endgame and then we'll call it an end there.
Okay.
On the podcast there.
Endgame.
How many Suicide Squads?
I'd probably give it an 8 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like a 9, but it's like much more than an 8.
So like a 8.1.
I'd give it a pretty emphatic 8.
A big 8.
I'd give it
a big 8.
8.75.
7.5. All right.
8.75. Yes.
Let me think about this. I'll give it a 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like everything that Suicide Squad was supposed to be.
You mean like a movie?
Travel?
Yeah, like a movie. Oh, ouch. Time travel,
like an actual film.
Like an actual film.
You know, if I saw Suicide Squad and it was like someone in college, and this is like, oh, this is like a college project I'm working on, I'd be like, yo, this is still garbage. I'm sorry.
Oh no, if it was that level of production value, I would have been like, production level is through the roof, but everything is so bad that I don't care. Like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Yeah.
And it looks this good. I still don't care.
Yeah.
I'll give you an F based on the editing alone.
Yeah. It's not even talking about the dialogue and
I'll
like
give you a redo. You can resubmit this next year.
They're
You
just like,
officially failed this course. You may try again next year.
if I saw that, I would be like, you're expelled from the program. Never come back. Like, this is not meant for you. Movies aren't meant for
You're
you.
fired from college.
You're fired from college.
You're fired from film school.
We don't want your money.
Then this person goes on to be a film school Hitler instead of being an art student Hitler.
Yeah. Oh my god. He just goes after Disney.
Topple an empire.
Yeah.
Okay. So next week, Blade Runner, the first one, and Blade Runner 2049.
I think it's fair to watch both.
Yeah. I think the focus is on the second Blade Runner. It's just the first one is just there to kind of color.
Good point of reference.
Yeah, point of reference. Color the movie a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. You know what? Let's do our outro. We'll just quickly recap our thoughts on Annihilation. All right. I'll just go first because I want to get it done and over with. I thought it was a well-constructed movie. I thought there was a cohesive flow to the thematic elements that it put out. The narrative and the character building weren't the focus, so it does suffer a little bit, but it's not important to the main thrust of the movie or to why it exists. And it exists there to make you think about certain things, many things if you pick up on it. And for that reason alone, I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't well made. Like, if it was a movie dealing with heavy elements and it was thought provoking, there you go, I said it right this time. That alone and of itself is not worth recommending a movie because it's just like, oh, it's dealing with something heavy. I don't care unless it's does it well, and this movie does it well. I think there's a lot of payoffs, and like it builds up to the end scene, and I think that end scene is kind of very weighty to it. There's a lot of weight to it, a lot of different elements in the end scene that kind of, at least for me, it hit me hard and made me really think. You know, that's when it really drove it home. So yeah, I recommend this movie. Not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna enjoy it or have a fun time with it. Honestly speaking, it's a little bit boring at times, but it's well made and it does make you think. Again, the narrative and the character development is a little on the weak side, but that's not the main point of the movie. So I do recommend it. I hope people watch it. I hope people give it an honest try because movies like this need to be made, like Barry said before, and they won't be unless people give it a shot. They watch it, you know, either give it high numbers on Netflix now that it's out on Netflix, just buy it on DVD, whatever. Just you gotta
it's also
vote
on Amazon Prime, I think.
Amazon Prime, awesome. Even more ways to do it. You gotta vote with your views, your legitimate views, and you gotta vote with your dollar if you can, and hopefully kind of encourage this industry to make these movies instead of something like Ghostbusters. Talking about the new one, not the original two, which are fantastic. All right, handing it off. Let's go next.
I can go next.
All right.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this movie, and yeah, it's really sad that something like this is so good, but just didn't get that much traction or any like wide appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it didn't make money because it is a really good film, and it's not necessarily the most like fast-paced, action-packed adventure, but I think it's well done and it's thought-provoking enough to be worth watching. Yeah, because it delves a lot into these themes such as like who are we as people, right? Like what is truly, in a sense, like human? What defines who we are, and yeah, like if like what it asks questions about like human nature. Why is our instinct always to destroy things? And if we don't understand something, we, instead of seeking to understand, we seek to destroy it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the film, and I think that if more people would actually care about films like this, then more movies would be able to get made, and less Suicide Squads would be in the world.
Suicide Squad,
Oh,
Transformers,
Suicide Squad.
Ghostbusters. Like, okay.
Ghostbusters is just the biggest sinner in comparison to this film, I think, because
Okay. Yeah.
it was
Yeah, yeah.
marketed. It was marketed in a way that made it seem like what this movie is. You know,
hmm
raw feminism. You know, that's great, but then make a good movie, please.
Exactly.
Like, please. You can market your movie that way, and then like call all the naysayers and detractors like sexist. Then, for the love of God, at least make a good movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of puts you in a position where, you know, like if you didn't like Ghostbusters and you're like bringing up logical reasons as to why it's bad, and they're like, no, you're just being a sexist. It kind of stops them from like taking a look at the movie and actually fixing it. You know, it's just like, oh, it's just sexism.
And
no, your movie's bad.
understanding like what's wrong with the film.
Annihilation is it should have made the same amount of Ghostbusters did. Made of money that Ghostbusters did. Like it should have made way more. I'm just saying, like,
more.
I understand why it doesn't make money, but like it's kind of sad that kind of movie.
That's the case.
Yeah. It's not even like Michael Bay levels of being so bad it's great. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah. You know what?
Like
we should
Captain
do a podcast
Marvel,
on it.
You know?
Yeah.
Just,
Captain Marvel I heard was like okay. It wasn't good.
It shot hard for like the feminism angle, but
I heard it narratively it was incredibly
Captain
weak.
Marvel's overall was really mediocre.
Mediocre,
I
yeah.
really enjoyed
just
parts
really
of the movie though.
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
I really loved parts of it. Mostly like where they're just on Earth hanging out. And the dynamic between
just like chilling in the bar.
Yeah. They're just hanging out. It's like Sam Jackson and Allison Brie.
Hey, you know when you mentioned bar, it made me
much.
think of Suicide Squad. That bar scene in Suicide Squad was like one of the best things ever in that movie. So what
Just
I'm
like
hearing,
the quieter moments.
yeah, is
they're
that
just hanging out. There's some characterization. You know, you get a chance to like, you know, enjoy your characters.
Yeah,
it's not just terrible. You know that those parts of Captain Marvel were quite wonderful, and the rest of the movie, like, either didn't just kind of fell short.
They should just cut those part out. It's just a buddy cop movie. You know that would have been amazing, right?
I would have loved that movie.
Yeah.
No, if it was just a buddy cop film, it would have been incredible.
Dude,
they're just like solving mysteries.
Okay, yeah, dude, I got it. All right, buddy cop movie. Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson. Director is Taika.
Oh.
Okay, just think about
Cowboys.
that. Space Cowboys. Just think about that.
The sheriff and his deputy.
Or like just space detectives.
That'd be pretty good.
That would be pretty good.
That'd be great.
They missed a chance. That could have been an amazing movie.
Yeah, and then in Endgame, she's just like, I will fly through a ship.
Apparently, they filmed Endgame before Captain Marvel,
which is why it's so awkward. Yeah.
Like that's why that performance was really uneven. But you know, whatever. Maybe the next and what I'm sure is going to be
the next Avengers film. You know,
another
Phase
9 Captain
Avengers.
Marvel. Yeah.
More Avengers.
Maybe
Game.
they'll give her more stuff to do.
Yeah.
You know, I hope so. I think the character has some potential, but
totally, she's basically Superman.
Yeah, Marvel has a lot of those.
Yeah.
They have a lot of them. They should do a Hyperion next, and then people can complain about how it's sexist because now there's a male one. There's a male version.
Male Captain Marvel. Wasn't there like the very first Captain Marvel?
So
male, and then just for like an issue or something, and then they changed it to female. What was the lore on that?
The lore is actually a lot deeper than you might think. The original Captain Marvel was Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam, and then DC.
It was owned by a different publication company, which DC purchased, and then they started publishing Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, and then Marvel's like, no, you can't do that.
No,
Right?
no,
No,
no.
no, okay.
They could because they owned the copyright to Captain Marvel.
Really?
Oh,
And then Marvel was like, "Son of a bitch."
But why did they change it back to Shazam
we're
then?
making Captain DC.
So what happened? What happened was that Captain Marvel started outselling Superman, and DC's like, "No, no, no, that is not acceptable." And then they just kind of started like slowing down the publication of those, and then just like let it fall to the wayside. And then I believe the
so
copyright
DC nerfed
lapsed.
itself.
Yeah, they literally
They
shot
nerfed
themselves
Captain
in the foot.
Marvel.
So the copyright lapsed, and then Marvel was like, well, well, well.
Wow.
How the turntables have turned.
And then they
Flip
came
the
out with
table.
the original, their original Captain Marvel, which was Marvel,
Yeah.
which was
Marvel.
a
Alien?
alien male character. And then what originally would become Captain Marvel was originally Miss Marvel. And then I'm not going to go through their entire backstory because it's like 70 years of like extremely confusing
my God.
retcons. But her character has been retconned like a good half dozen times at least.
What hasn't been retconned in comic book world? Let's be honest.
Uncle Ben always dies.
You're right. You know Spider-Man
what,
memes
A
where
travesty.
No matter
Well,
what,
someone always dies in Spider-Man.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Did you guys watch
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse?
No,
Yeah.
I heard that was pretty good though, right?
It was actually wonderful.
Okay.
It was incredible.
check
So
that
I
out.
definitely recommend. Yeah.
But I was
was
just thinking about the Spider-Man memes where Spider-Man's going through the grocery and he sees Uncle Ben's rice and he just starts crying.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that's like the one thing. That's the one thing that will never change is Uncle Ben dies.
You're right. Uncle Ben is the true hero that's making the Marvel universe consistent. His death.
Yeah. But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse was really surprisingly wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah.
I do have a complaint. When the Kingpin looks so goofy.
Really?
Dude, I love Kingpin. His character design is so funny.
So it was like
He's
everything
like
else. Everyone else looks sort of reasonable, and then he's just like a fucking like a marshmallow man. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, did Uncle Ben?
That was-
Uncle Ben
that was
died
my
in the
story.
new Spider-Man, right? He's just not on screen.
They don't.
Okay.
They didn't redo the origin story.
That's like it would have been
Mhm.
overdone.
Yeah, like there's clearly a writers meeting, and they're like, what are all the things that we've seen like literally 6 times now? Uncle Ben dies, origin story, you know, and
Hobgoblin.
then like they just didn't do them.
Yeah, and they went a completely different route, and it was incredible.
I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it worked great. It
Yeah.
was wonderful, and I guess you say that Far From Home was perhaps even better.
High praise.
That's high praise.
High
That's high
praise.
praise.
I don't know if it was better than Spider-Verse, but it's close. It's up there. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot more like character development, so yeah,
Ooh.
I enjoyed it.
Ooh.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, very very fun. Very fun. Highly recommend going to watch it.
All
I'll
right.
check it out. Spider-Man with another Doc Ock. Plot twist, instead of Doc Ock, it's like Doc
That's actually a twist in
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
It's literally a twist in that movie.
Really? What
I don't
Doc
wanna
Ock
spoil
is?
it to you.
I just want to Dr.
Yeah.
Octopus with no arms. That's what I wanted. Just it's like or one arm. You know? That's what I want. Plot twist. He doesn't have octopus arms anymore. He's just a doctor.
One of the coolest plot twists recently with the Doc Ock is Superior Spider-Man,
Mhm.
where he takes over Peter Parker's body, and then he becomes Spider-Man, and then Peter Parker is transported into his body, but his body in the comic books, like he's like terminally ill and he dies. So Spider-Man is dead inside of Doc Ock's body.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then there's like a whole long series of comics of just Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man. It's actually pretty interesting.
Wait, what does he do?
Is
Does
he
he
a good
commit
guy or is he a
crime?
bad
Yeah.
guy?
He's a good guy. He's
What?
actually a good guy.
He
He's a
lives
good
on
guy
his
that
days as a
does.
hero.
He's a good guy with like kind of a shitty perspective, but a good guy nonetheless.
Yeah, wasn't his original character who wanted to help humanity and then Spider-Man screwed it up a little bit?
Sort of. There's a very long history with Doc
Okay.
Ock, but But how it goes down is like when they swap bodies, they get each other's memories as well. And Doctor Octopus sees like Peter's life, and he's like, "Oh man, so this is what it means to be Spider-Man," and he kind of gets it. He's like,
Hmm.
"Okay, I get it. Like the world needs a Spider-Man,
It
and
needs a
so I'm
hero.
going to be it needs Spider-Man." And he understands why Peter is Spider-Man. He's like, okay, I'm gonna be Spider-Man, but I'm gonna be better at it than you are because you
Oh.
suck.
It's true.
And he kind of is. He's kind of a better Spider-Man because Doc Ock is a really smart guy.
Does he like make octopus arms for his spider suit? But like spider arms?
I don't think he does.
Like Homecoming.
yeah,
Not
Hom-
Homecoming. Like
the
Infinity War
Waldos.
Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he does, but I mean, he uses his intellect in interesting ways.
Hmm.
Like the main difference between his Spider-Man and Peter Parker's is he is not afraid to like straight up kill people sometimes.
Wow, I like that.
Like, he does
Spider-Man
it a
with
couple
guns?
No, I mean not with guns, but
Oh.
like one cool moment is when he's fighting, I think Scorpion,
Mhm.
and like he just owns him, and then he punches him in the face, and he straight up like punches his jaw off.
Wow.
Like because Spider-Man is a lot stronger than people realize.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a
no.
lot stronger than what he usually lets on, because he always pulls his punches. Otherwise, he would like if Spider-Man punched Doc Ock, his fragile like regular guy human body, like he would just die.
Shattered
He would just
okay.
literally he would just be shattered, like his pelvis, like his spine would be cracked in half. And Doc Ock's like, oh man, he's been holding back this whole time fighting me. And it's kind of a cool moment.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's his whole line of comics. It's an interesting little plot twist.
That's
But
interesting.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Peter Parker comes back because nothing changes in Marvel.
Because
you're right.
Nothing
really
no one
changes.
ever dies.
Wait, but that would have been awesome because then like Doc Ock is like good now, right? He's a good guy.
He's still around as Superior, but it's a long thing. Peter
Okay.
Parker comes back, but Doc Ock also returns as Superior Spider-Man, and he's still as of right now, kind of sort of a hero.
Okay.
But in San Francisco, because that's what Marvel does.
Just
you
ship
can't
him
have-
out.
Just relocate.
Yeah, you're
you can't have
relocating
two
now.
Spider-Man, so you're just gonna put you in San Francisco.
Wait, how
So
does
that's where-
Spider-Man come back if Doc Ock is still in Spider-Man's body?
I'm not gonna go through the whole
Okay,
storyline,
okay.
dude. It's a long thing.
It's a long thing.
long thing.
Better than Suicide
It's a
Squad,
lot.
worse than Suicide Squad.
We should just have a podcast where Barry explains to us different comic book plot lines.
we can make that that'll be a super long podcast. I don't
And
have.
then
I gotta
ask stupid-ass
upgrade to the most
questions.
expensive plan then.
It's so long. It would
Okay.
take forever. And God, like
And we just call it story
story time.
Story time with Barry.
loosely based comic book story time
Yeah.
by Barry.
Where I get like half the details wrong because they're so confusing or
Yeah.
inconsequential.
That'd be the
Fireside
best
chat
part.
with Uncle Ben.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. We do this because Uncle Ben died, so that's when we end the podcast, you know?
So we call it the Uncle Ben cast.
Uncle Ben cast.
Yes.
A chat with Uncle Ben. Oh man.
All right. Yeah, let's end it there. Wow, this is our shortest podcast, by the way. Only 2 hours ish.
It's
2.5.
because we didn't go through like the entire like storyline
Yeah.
of the movie. Yeah. It was good.
All right.
I guess we should sign off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts before we go? Yeah. Please check this movie out, Annihilation. Again, not for everyone, and it does have some flaws, and it is a little bit pretentious to me, at least. But it does make you think, and it's well crafted. It's crafted with a lot of intentionality and love, and attention to details and mood and the music, everything. It's great. We need more movies like this. But yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need more movies like this. I'll say, I think I've said this before, but I go to movies to have fun or to think something or feel something. And I remember when I walked out of this movie in the theater, like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I like was rolling around in my head, like remembering all the scenes, thinking about the themes, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it for days. And at that particular moment, I wanted to talk with somebody about it, like just talk about the movie, you know, and about everything I thought about it. And I couldn't because nobody had seen the movie. I saw this
That's
movie,
sad. That's sad.
and I was so sad. I'm like, oh man,
It's tragic.
That's how
It's
I feel
tragic.
about Battlefield Earth. I'm
Absolutely
kidding.
not.
Absolutely.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, if you're, I'm not gonna recommend this as like a popcorn flick or anything like
Yeah,
that. If you
definitely
wanted to
not.
sit down and like really mull over some interesting ideas, and or are like a fan of like classic sci-fi, like deliberate, slow-paced, this is definitely a movie for you. Or if you're just looking for something a little bit different, like even if this is not typically your type of movie, give it a chance
Mhm.
because it really deserves an audience. Again, it's like on, I think, Amazon Prime, Netflix, all the streaming services, because it got shopped out immediately. It went straight to Netflix in Europe, I think, and international audiences.
Yeah, like I thought this was a Netflix movie because I don't remember it being in theaters.
It was in theaters for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It made no money. I saw it again. I guess I think I saw it opening weekend, and like there were 3 people in the theater. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh god.
Oh no. Yeah.
All the Amazon reviews are like, "This is the dumbest movie I've ever watched."
Really? Maybe you're
Some
dumb.
of them say it's amazing.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their movie opinion because I understand where they're coming from. Because again, if you only look at the narrative and the character development, it does fall short. But like, if you miss everything else, though, I feel like you're watching movies for the wrong thing sometimes. You know, it's not bad to have different movies. You can't have every movie do the same thing.
If you don't
Right?
dig any deeper than surface level on this movie, then yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
potentially bad.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
surface
But
level, it's pretty bad.
again, if you have a couple brain cells to rub together, you know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, if people don't like it, oh well, you know, and not everyone's gonna like it. But I think if you watch it, you can
perfectly fine.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Isaiah, any more thoughts?
No, I think you guys pretty much summed it up. Yeah. Good movie. Go watch. Also, go watch Spider-Man.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll end it there. This has been episode 8 of the Pointy Hat Cast. We got a swag new logo and everything. It'll probably be changed once we start making money. We can hire people to do it for us. Yeah, I'm gonna look for an intro and outro song. I saw some good ones for like $4, but yeah, I'll send you guys some links and then we can shop around. It's just a placeholder until we commission people for work. Yeah, it's been episode 8, Annihilation, Pointy Hat Cast approved, with the caveat, not for everyone, and also makes you think a little bit. So if you're in the mood for that kind of movie, or you want something different, please check it out, give it a view, more exposure. Okay, with that, we'll be back next week to talk about Blade Runner 2049. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Well, I just end there.
Original Blade Runner as well, I think.
Original Blade Runner, yeah, of course. All right, with that, we'll sign off here. See you guys next week.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Stay pointy.
Stay pointy.
Stay pointy.